Hello, you lovely lot. So it is Street Talk time once again, and quite a lot to talk about this week. Not only because there was a very much lauded and special episode for the whole Todd and Theo story on Wednesday, I think it was. But yeah, we've got 6 episodes to discuss this week. Friday last week to Friday this week. We still do have some lovely clickbait to talk about first. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Gemma, are you ready to do a bit of guessing? Some of these aren't too bad. You were really good last week, weren't you? You guessed most of them, I think. Let's see if you can keep up that standard. So from the Manchester Evening News this week, Gemma, Coronation Street fans in agreement as they support best thing to happen to ITV soap. What were they talking about? It is not about our visit there, I'll tell you that. Although that was quite good.
Is it George?
Yes, it is George. Oh my gosh, you're too good at this.
Yeah, it's because he's great. It's because he's lovely. I was just looking at somebody tweeting about him.
Yes, I was. I think I saw the same thread of tweets.
Ryan? Somebody called Ryan?
I don't know who it was.
Brilliant. Love it. I'm so happy when good things happen to people that are great.
Well, I just like it when characters have a real turnaround. Not that, you know, people didn't dislike George before.
He just floundered. He really floundered, and we all knew that...
Moni Tordsley.
Yes, he has such talent, and he's so warm and so charismatic and such a good comedic actor too, and so good at dramatic, and just waiting for his chance. This is why
he just needed the right fit for him.
This is why the actors on Corrie, even if I don't like their characters, I always admire their talent, because you know they're there because they're, you know, top notch.
Yeah.
And every so often somebody who hasn't had a chance to prove it gets that chance, and I'm so happy that we're getting to see the brilliant side of George, especially with Christina, because I love both of those characters together.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was so lovely getting to see him this week looking after Todd.
And nice to be back in number 11 in today's episode as well for the first time in quite a while.
I'm baffled because who lives... So Glenda lives there.
I think Glenda lives there.
Mary lives there.
Mary lives there, George lives there, Christina lives there. Christina moved in a few months ago.
Live in this.
Well, I mean, it's always been a bit like that, hasn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it's just... And now Todd's there. It'd be like, oh man, Todd, look. When George took him round to go get his clothes, you think he was like, oh, look how comfortable and roomy it is here.
I immediately noticed that they'd changed small amount of the decor in that room, so they've taken down obviously that photo board that had family in the middle with the pictures of Julie and Jason and everybody.
Get rid of her, she's dead.
What is it they had now? Glenda's
bar.
Yeah, Glenda's bar and a little bar.
Champagne s'il vous plaît on above the kitchen. They've got a big dresser. They've got some weird vomiting
wiry
silver
jug,
box
vase thing.
It looks horrible.
Yeah. But it was very, very recognisably number 11. I don't think they've done the wallpaper.
Who do you think's responsible for that monstrosity? Do you think it's Christina or Glenda? Because it's one of them, isn't it? Because Mary's had a chance, right? She's been living there the whole time.
Well, maybe she wanted to, and Eileen was like, we're not putting that eyesore out, Mary. No, thank you very much. And stick it with your gold rounders bat in your bedroom.
Yeah. Maybe George bought it for Christina as a moving in gift, and she's just gradually... positioning it further and further towards the edge so that she can knock it off and crush it.
Well, we do know that George has got not the best track record when it comes to buying presents for a significant other, so even that, could well be.
That joke would work if Christina was the recipient, but it was no.
Yeah. There was a couple of returning sets this week, wasn't it? Because we saw for the first time in a jolly long time Roy's bedroom. On that Sunday episode when the cafe was hit by a very, very bad case of the smokes and not a single flame inside. They couldn't even... Don't get me started now. I'm going to save that until later. But I did appreciate... for the few seconds that it was on screen that they recreated Roy and Hayley's bedroom, and I didn't go back to Hayley's death episode to check did they get it exactly right, but in my head that's how I remember it, so well done for that.
Do you think that they were going to do the flat in general and they just couldn't be bothered to do, because that's really hard.
The flat's too complicated, it's got too much
where all the bits are,
too much bric-a-brac in, but we can just throw together Roy's bedroom and then there we go.
They won't know.
Yeah, but
they won't remember.
It's peculiar because we saw that, and we saw of course Theo and Todd's bedroom set this week.
Yeah,
so we go months without seeing any bedroom sets.
What have they got rid of?
Yeah, I wonder what
this is like it's like the monkey's paw, isn't it?
Yeah, there can only be that many sets used at once.
You wish to see the bedrooms of all the characters in a giant Rover's kitchen, do you? Well, you're going to have to say goodbye to your favourite set of all, which is...
Well, yeah.
Dunno.
Speaking of that...
The Rovers.
Just imagine if they did that. The Rover's Kitchen did not make an appearance this week, did it? So maybe that massive expansion last week was for naught.
I don't know why I think this, but I'm convinced that there's going to be some kind of murder scene in that kitchen.
Do you reckon?
I don't know that. I don't think it's going to necessarily be
week...
related to the characters that are there, because anyone can go in that kitchen. You know, I don't think that means it's going to be a Maggie. But as soon as I saw that they put that in there, I was like, there's got to be a reason.
Look, if Maggie doesn't kill Megan next week, then I think Lauren's going to be the next on her hit list. That woman...
She didn't make me laugh today. I'm sorry, but she wore me down and made me laugh. The bit where she got annoyed because she had to get them whiskies or something while they were playing darts.
That's the thing. I do find Lauren actually kind of amusing, but also it just these bells going off in my head going, what is she doing working there? How can anyone stand her? She's being so disrespectful to Maggie. Why on earth? It's not like they're short staffed there, for heaven's sake.
I don't want to put her in a bad spot here. You know, I big up all the young women, single mum, working hard for a kid, etc. But is she the worst Rover's barmaid there's ever been?
I mean, one of the least friendly, I would definitely say.
Apart from that Cockney one who couldn't understand what anyone was saying in the 60s, I think she might be.
I don't know. Maybe that's something we need to look at. The most ill-suited Rovers barmaids. That can be a Patreon top 5. Although there have been a few, like Eileen was a barmaid there for all of about one episode, I think. And maybe even... Edna Miller had a little go.
I think so. I think that would be funny because I think they do it on, nobody thinks Lauren's,
And then if that really went well, we could do most ill-suited Rovers landladies.
No, I'm not doing that because you wanted to put Toya in there and I wouldn't have it.
You took the words right. Oh, I might. Okay, right. Anyway, that was a very long little segue from the Manchester Evening News. Yes, George is, according to fans, the best thing to happen in the ITV soap. That is Coronation Street. Entertainment Daily had an article this week, and it starts off with the quote, "Makes no sense. Coronation Street fans call out major character absences in Todd's horrific storyline."
Got to be Eileen and Jason. Not
who
Karen.
Eileen did make an appearance over the phone this week, didn't she? As did Gail.
Everyone's phoning their mums.
They're all sharing ideas, these script writers, between each other this week. I kind of missed, because I was typing away, what Eileen was actually saying. Is it
she wants to come and beat him up?
She wants to come and beat up Theo.
That would be a great twist.
But she's not going to, is she?
In Murder Week. Like, who did it? Someone who's not even in the show anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Anna Windass came back to kill Pat Phelan.
Well, maybe they could pull that, couldn't they? We'll know soon
maybe
enough.
Somebody dies of natural causes. You guys haven't thought of that, have you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
No, I haven't seen anyone predict that.
Anyway, I'm glad that Eileen and Jason's absences were noted, but it's still... I don't know, sometimes when they do it, it makes it worse, because it makes you think, no, but why aren't they coming over? Todd was probably saying to Eileen, "Don't worry, I'll be fine." But seriously, in real life, she'd be on that plane and back to Weatherfield like a shot. Or Jason would come and stave Theo's head in, wouldn't they? How much does it cost, though?
I ain't got any money.
Oh, they can just start walking.
I can't be having people getting abused across the world because I just don't have the money for the plane ticket.
Well, look, I don't know. Next one.
Can you escape justice in...
Oh, in Thailand?
Yeah. Is it could you go and be on the run there, or
what's it called when
extradition treaty?
Yeah. I don't know.
Phone them up.
Well, anyway, look, Theo wasn't.
Phone up the tourist board. I bet you the Thailand tourist board could tell you right now.
Well, I have not.
But they get it all the time.
To be quite frank. Liverpool Echo, Gemma. Yeah. Coronation Street fans slam ridiculous Debbie blunder. Can't get my head around it.
I don't know what this is.
Oh,
I haven't got an idea.
You haven't got an idea?
Is it?
So what to do with Debbie in the past, week and a half, 2 weeks, could people have said it's ridiculous and makes no sense?
What, just getting out without us seeing it?
No, but I thought you might guess that. It has been since then. You're not going to get this, but I'd like to hear your suggestions.
She didn't get a checkup when she should have done.
No.
She shouldn't be wearing pastels.
No.
Because it'll trigger something.
One final guess.
She is not really Carl's mum.
No, but you're right. That makes no sense whatsoever. This is to do with the fact that Debbie's hands are all bandaged up.
Oh, God.
But there's extra on top of that. The fans that this is quoting, this article, say that if Debbie's hands are all done up in bandages, how on earth does she have a face full of makeup?
Where's the will is the way?
I don't know.
I've seen a
Having
woman
never
who
put
doesn't have
makeup
any
on
hands.
myself, apart from for fancy dress.
I've seen a woman with no hands put makeup on. She used her toes.
There you go. That answers that question.
Simple.
And if you're little like Debbie, then that means that there's less room for your legs to travel to get up there.
People are talking like there's not thousands of beautiful armless women.
I know, actually, I think
no-handed women
that's very ableist.
Continuously doing their makeup like goddesses.
Mm-hmm.
Also, here's my other point. How do you know that's makeup?
Yeah, she's actually
beautiful.
like that, isn't she? Exactly. Right, final one. This is also from the Liverpool Echo. This wasn't that great, to be honest. ITV Coronation Street's Gemma leaves fans concerned after worrying change.
Right.
We haven't seen that much of Gemma recently, have we, to be fair? She's been appearing in the Mail story slightly.
I don't know. What's she different? She hasn't got a different wig.
No, she hasn't got a different wig, no.
I don't know then.
It's just kind of saying, she's kind of regressed back to being a gross slob. I thought that she kind of matured a little bit and was being a mum to quads.
They've forgotten what her character is now. She's not been in it long enough.
No. Anyway, that was it. Thank you, Jonathan, for the clickbaits and the ones that we didn't use, because there were an awful lot that I had to choose from this week.
Ooh.
But we really must get started with
got to get on with
talking about what happened in this week's Coronation Street. I've got 4 stories. Some of them are merged together, and some of the storyline titles are revisits of very old ones. But I am quite pleased with the Freer Theo storyline title. Todd is Freer Theo, isn't he? He's free.
Why are you proud of
Theo.
that?
Well, it's not that bad.
What's it supposed to sound like? Just supposed to
Freer Theo.
Freer Theo.
Yeah, Freer Theo. That's tripped right off the tongue. It's brilliant. I was shaking the head at that one. Okay, fair enough. We got Carl O'Connor, which we did have before, didn't we? Carl O'Connor. I quite like this one. Every week, Mal just gets a brand new storyline title. And this week, he set fire to Roy's rolls. So we are calling the storyline this week Thermal Reaction. Because we will be giving our reaction to that fire.
Yeah.
See, Mal doesn't just have to start words. It can come at the end of them as well. And then, of course, we had the Will groomed storyline. It was also a bit of a da-da-da because of Ben and Steve and Maggie in today's episode. What's that confused look for?
Were you doing a song?
What song?
Da-da-da.
No, last week the storyline title was da-da-da, wasn't it? Because it was a twist that
I wasn't here last week. I was ill.
Right, Gemma.
You can do the Theo one.
I'm doing the Theo storyline, was I? So it was a big old week this week, and I wonder how many people watching the show, listening to the episode, didn't know that we were coming to a conclusion this week. But I think the way that, was it Monday? Yeah, Monday's episode ended, it was so exciting. And then we had to wait a whole 48 hours, just like the old days of 2025, to find out what was going to happen next. It was such a great episode on Wednesday. But we got to get up to there first. So we're going right back in time to last Thursday, when everything is... Friday, sorry. When everything is, normal-ish. Yeah, tense, which is the normal that Theo and Todd flat on Friday morning. He tells Todd that he's just being horrible, isn't he? He's like saying, "Oh, you need to get back to bed. Oh, look at the state of you." Sarah, meanwhile, is talking with Christina and Summer about what happened with Todd and Theo previous day when Sarah had been round the flat and Theo had come round and seen the 2 cups, and she's like, it doesn't look right there for him. It's like he's a flipping prisoner in his own home. By the way, I thank you to the person on Reddit this week who called me out by saying that I always refer to her as Sarah Lou. Yes, I do most of the time call her Sarah Louise. There's people who've been watching Coronation Street for a certain amount of time. I think we just can't help ourselves. I don't do it on purpose. Maybe I do.
Sometimes we forget to call her Sarah Lou or Sarah Louise, but I just think it's funny.
Well, when I think about her, I think she's almost been like the Tina O'Brien version of Sarah. It's probably been just Sarah Platt even longer than she was ever Sarah Louise now. But I don't care. I call her Sarah Lou. But yeah, anyway, thank you, Reddit person who mentioned me, because you also said that you should listen to Conversation Street. So that is
please feel free
recommendation.
To go around telling everybody how great we are, because There's only so much time I can hear it myself.
There's drama at the Undertaker's though, because the estate agent comes round because apparently George's business is going under after the whole court
But it
case
seems
thing.
like it's all right now.
I know. He said that was today's
God.
episode, wasn't it? You know what? Things are going to be all right. I've got a client that I'm meeting with today. Is that literally all they needed? One client for everything to be back okay again.
Is this client dead?
Well, they might be, because George has binned her off to go and check around Todd's flat, hasn't he? In today's episodes. But if that's... I don't know. I don't know if it's the end of the story, but if it turns out that like... no, everything is actually okay. But then do we want a story? This is the thing.
Want that story.
I don't think that it's not going to be okay, but they got to put in the effort to... Who knows? I mean, I do wonder whether the likes of Todd and George and that little gang are going to be put on a break a little bit now that the story is coming to a conclusion.
I don't know. I really like... I just want them
to be in it all the time.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
What's wrong with that?
Come on. So Theo goes round the yard later. He needs to pick up some more of his tools there from Gary, who is not at all happy to see him. He's still smiling because he was tricked on that wedding thing.
I love this. This is Gary's redemption arc, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it worth him being an idiot for the wedding to get this out of it? I don't know. I
think they probably could have got here without it, but
I know
Gary is definitely my hero this week.
He doesn't get any Gary the ally that like Sally does, for his acceptance.
No,
That's why he's mad. He's like, how come Sally gets all the praise for being an ally and I don't? Just because the wedding was a sham.
Anyway, Gary's saying, look, you just get your things and bugger off, please. And Theo is still spinning the tale that he's the victim here, isn't he? And he keeps this up all week. I love Todd. I don't understand what's going on here. Why doesn't anybody believe me? And I still did get the impression a few times during this week that he kind of somewhere believes that, doesn't he?
I think he thinks that if only people knew what Todd was really like, they would understand why he's a long-suffering, like he...
Theo knows...
has to put up with, Todd... So...
Theo knows what he's done, but I don't think he's, properly processed it, because when he's saying, some of the time, when he's saying, look, Todd, you do this to me, you turn me into this sort of person, this isn't who I really am, I really do think that part of him believes that that's true.
Yeah.
Which is why, in some tiny, tiny way, I got a bit of sympathy for him.
Why do you always say this? You're mad.
No, but...
Just shut up.
No, it's not. Because, I don't won't get anything. Better not do.
What?
Villains need to be more than just two-dimensional, don't they?
Yeah, but you don't have to feel sorry for them.
I think that he's inside, something in him has broken. I'm not saying that I want to fix him.
I'm not part of this.
I'm not saying that.
I quit this show.
But I'm complimenting...
I denounce you.
I'm complimenting the quality of the writing, the storylining, most definitely the performance of Theo's character, that he isn't just, wahaha, I'm going to come and beat you up. There is more to him than that. That's surely something that's good. It's a depth to a character, depth to a villain.
Why do you have to say it every week?
I'm not saying it every week.
You do say it every week.
I'm not saying it every week.
People write in, okay?
I'm not on Theo's side here.
He does it every week, doesn't he, everybody?
I'm just trying to be contrary.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
But why?
I'm not on Theo's side here. Do
you remember?
I'm just admiring the fact that they're doing more to this character than just have him being 100% bad. There are layers here.
Do you remember when he was in Canal Street and his ex Owen was there? And he was being horrible, wasn't he? He was saying, you brought it on yourself, you're snivelling. That,
Yeah.
That's what he would end up... That's where he would end up if... when and if he gets to speak to Todd and he realises it's over for good.
Yeah.
Because I imagine, we're jumping ahead here, but I imagine there will be a bit where Theo tries to convince Todd to drop the charges or take him back or something. I don't know if it works like that in this country. I don't think it matters how it works in this country when it comes to the legal stuff. No,
as long as it makes good drama, right?
Yeah.
Well, as we know at the moment, Theo has been given some kind of order to not go within X meters of Theo, so Surely he won't.
I feel sorry for him.
No, stop it. Stop it. I'm just
I feel really bad for him because he's probably got a special pillow he can't get to.
Yeah, him and Mel and all the others.
Oh, they're just really misunderstood. Look, shut up now. And look, I love you, and people tell me off all the time, right? For like being rude to you. For number one, we're married. This is all just banter and silly jokes. That Michael knows. Michael knows
She's
I love
still
him.
quite fond of me anyway.
I am. But sometimes I have to be stern with you because you come out with some strange things. And also, I have to preempt you from saying some stuff sometimes. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I'm
I know.
like, head you off at the pass here. We're going to stop talking about this because I know something's going to come out your mouth that is going to be a bit weird.
Fine, whatever. I'm just saying that he's a layered character, and that's what I likes. Anyway, speaking of somewhat shady dudes, Carl comes over at this point and just reminds the audience that he knows that Theo offed the vicar, Billy. And
Billy.
I've got your number.
In case you forgot.
I got your number, says Carl. And so this whole little bit of a storyline kind of spirals out into something else, which I think I've kind of put in the Carl storyline. At least that was my plan. So that if things go quiet on the Carl front, it's because I got him somewhere else. So there's another standoff between Gary and Theo later, and Theo is like, if I'm the sort of person who batters my partner, why didn't Danielle say anything about it, eh? It's because I never laid a finger on her, or his kids, and that's why.
All my kids.
All my kids. Exactly.
Yeah.
Gary says, look, as soon as you're out of here, the better. So Theo leaves Gary. No. Yes. Theo leaves and Gary goes and calls Sarah Louise, and he's got an idea to prove what he's been doing to Todd. We'd been wondering whether Danielle was going to make a reappearance.
Well,
What?
Danielle turns up and it clears nothing up whatsoever.
No.
Except to say, right, the writers told me that you guys keep asking what happened with our marriage and nothing happened, so shut up about it now.
I do wonder whether there's going to be anything more to it than that, because
Is there
it
gonna
really
be...
did seem to be a meeting of let's just shut the readers up
yeah.
who are asking, because
Readers.
she's the listeners, sorry, the viewers.
Have
one of those two. You do
So
some
many
way
ways to consume
consuming
media.
the media. Yeah.
They don't smell it though, do they? Or touch it.
But yeah, she's quite harsh to Sarah, isn't she? Sarah's like, did you ever get abused? What? Me? No. How dare you ask such a personal question? It almost felt a bit defensive of Theo. Who would do such a thing as that?
She knows that he's violent because she made him beat Todd up.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. I suppose, is she just doing it to save face for herself? Like, could Theo have still done that to her, but she doesn't want to come across as being weak to Sarah? Because already she probably still feels this sting of the fact that her husband was gay all this time and right under her nose and she didn't realise it. Does she want the ultimate humiliation of having to admit, this is what she would say, that she was also beaten up by him as well?
Lots of women wouldn't want that to be known, especially from someone that they don't really know that well, just asking them straight out. I
mean, I don't think that that's the case. And I didn't leave the scene.
Then?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, it might be interpreted this way. But I just kind of left the scene going, oh,
no,
okay. Sorry, I asked. Coronation Street, crikey. All right,
I
then.
believed her, and I think that it's. I don't know what it. I mean, it's interesting psychologically, isn't it?
Yeah, and it did spin the story off in a slightly different way because, of course, they did. Theo and Todd come wandering in right in the middle of this meeting, and Theo takes Daniel off to one side and say, "Look, Danielle." He's like, "Well, look, Sarah thinks that I'm beating up Todd. It's a load of rubbish, isn't it?"
Todd.
Yeah, abusing him. And Danielle leaves, and Theo tells Sarah, "If you do anything like that again, you're going to regret it." So it's kind of upping the stakes a little bit there between Theo and Sarah. And Todd, of course, just says that you've made things a lot worse here. So, yes, it has progressed the plot that way. Could there have been other ways to do it? Quite possibly. So Sarah and Co meet up in the Rovers later, and she tells them basically what happened with Danielle, and Christina jokes that it would be nice if they could all club together and find somebody to bump Theo off.
Take a shot.
Yeah, basically, that is this week's. Take a shot every time somebody says, joking or otherwise, that they're going to kill somebody because...
But that's what we do in this country. We love it.
It's just banter, isn't it?
Do they do this... Is this like an English-speaking thing? Is this a British thing? Americans
not
say
really.
this, don't they?
Yeah.
Like it's. But is this like? Do people in other languages make jokes like this?
Probably, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
I was saying on the one of the shorts that we did this week, like if we didn't know that there was a murder happening this will be 2 weeks after this one, when would we be starting to think, ooh, they're lining up the potential?
I don't know.
Because they did it with the Ken
They
story.
are being really heavy-handed.
The Who pushed Ken story.
Yeah.
There were suspects built up beforehand, but I don't think we ever saw it coming because they hadn't publicised that Ken was going to be pushed down the stairs, did they?
Oh, it's great.
That was a brilliant twist at the end of the episode where it cuts to him lying there at the front door. I'm like, oh, it's a murder mystery. That all makes sense now. But possibly some people had guessed it, although, nobody would have guessed that someone was going to kill Ken because I don't think anyone thinks that that's ever
Even though we've very often called it the
referred
Who Killed
to it,
Ken.
Who Killed Ken storyline, slip of the tongue. So yeah, it's very knowing that it's coming makes it a bit more stand out and obvious, isn't it? Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to, I assume, look back at these episodes and go, oh, the clues were there all along. Because we are looking out for the clues already. I don't think there's much that's slipping past us.
Yeah.
And because a lot of them are very, very obvious. But some of the clues are obviously going to turn to 4/5 of the clues are going to come to nothing, and everyone's just going to Jesse out of following through all their threats.
Do you remember? You guys ever seen that Too Many Cooks from the car? What was it from?
Oh, the little skirt.
Yeah, Too Many Cooks.
Yeah, where was it from? I don't know.
Adult Swim.
Oh yeah. I think it was that.
Because there's a guy, like the joke of that is there's a man lurking all the way through who ends up being a murderer, and I wonder if it's going to be like that where we didn't see the clues at all, but it was obvious if only we'd known to look, even though we were looking.
Well, whoever the killer is, if there is indeed a killer, it's really tough, isn't it? Because we've got these 5 potential victims, and they're all fairly recent acquisitions to the show. And somebody was saying to me earlier, maybe they should have thrown in a couple of long-term legacy characters to spice things up a bit. And although that might have made it a bit exciting, equally I think I'm sort of and I probably said that myself at the time, but I do think that we'd have just been going, well, it's obviously not them. What they really should have done if they wanted to up the stakes is have all 5 of the potential victims be characters that you couldn't ever imagine leaving. What we're left with at the moment is 5 characters that we think, well, yeah, possibly none of them are going to be in the show in a year or two's time.
Yeah, even though we would like to keep some of them.
Oh, yeah, we'd definitely like to keep some of them. But
some of them really like, the actors.
Oh yeah, they're great. Well, you could still have Megan's not so evil twin sister appear.
Megan's
on
nice.
Coronation
Yeah,
Street.
we've never. Has the soap ever done?
Yeah, instead of an evil twin, just a nice
twin.
one.
Because I think didn't Conor McIntyre always say, "I wish that
Oh,
Pat
yeah.
Phelan's good brother would."
Yeah, he was
appear."
saying that.
Someone's got to have a secret twin. They've never done it. They haven't done it yet, have they? Oh,
Not
they
a
did. They
secret
did with
twin.
Edna,
They did with
didn't
Edna, didn't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's very tense in Todd and Theo's flat again, and it was one of those episodes. So often recently, we've had the episodes where something iffy has happened during the day, and you're like, what's going to happen? Is there going to be another big thing? I mean,
Is there a reckoning?
yeah, but luckily for Todd, for the time being at least, that didn't happen at the end of Friday's episode because Theo tells him he's got a call about the Belfast trip. It's all sorted. He's booked the ferry tickets. They can leave soon. And Todd has to make out that he's pleased with this. But obviously, he knows what's going on. It's so complicated because we see Todd's reaction after the whole Wednesday fiasco, don't we? Where he's still saying, I think he still loves me. It's gonna be a hard feeling for him to shake off. And I suppose, although there was part of him probably at this stage thinking, no, I can't, I shouldn't go, I need to be on my own. I think there was probably quite a loud voice in his head that was saying, honestly, Todd, just go. He'll be away from everybody. There won't be anyone winding him up. It's going to be fine, wasn't there?
Yeah, I can imagine believing this would actually be the thing that helped.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sunday's episode.
Sunday.
Yeah. Yes, Theo's just come back from telling the kids Million and Miles about the move to Belfast, and apparently neither particularly cared about it. They're well and truly cut him out of their life.
What if they're dead already.
I don't think they are. I don't think.
What if they're the ones that die?
Todd's packing his bags in the lounge, of course, despite the fact that they have got a bedroom set. Todd just can't shake that Weatherfield habit of packing his bag in the lounge.
We should try it one day. Maybe we'd like it.
Maybe are we missing out on something by packing in the bedroom when we go off to these places?
The thing is, it's on a different. It's like so far away. But everyone's bedroom's far away from their living room, isn't it?
Well, Debbie's Theo and Todd isn't particularly, but anyway, who knows? So Todd asked Theo if he wants to go to the pub for farewell drinks tonight, and Theo's like, nope, think we just need to stay together and we'll be off and it'll be all fine. He also doesn't seem particularly happy with the fact that Todd wants to speak to Summer before they go either. He's obviously got this plan in his head that he's got Todd where he wants him at the moment, and he doesn't want any chance that somebody could potentially intervene and divert him from going to Belfast, right? Even though, again, part of Theo, I think he's thinking things could be okay for me and Todd. He's not, I don't think he's 100% saying, oh, let's go over to Belfast where I can beat in black and blue and nobody will know about it, is he? I think some of it's saying
Maybe so flippant.
He because he's so super jealous.
Yeah.
He's jealous of Summer's attention. He's jealous of Sarah Louise. He's still probably harbouring some sort of resentment for Billy, who he probably thinks is haunting
Always,
and cursing
everywhere.
their marriage from beyond the grave. So, yes, it's going to be, Todd's not going to be able to escape. But it's like a twisted way, isn't it? Theo, I think, has got this idea in his head that if he takes him over there, they possibly can have some kind of happily ever after, even if that happily ever after is Todd, mindless, bowing down to him and, being a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Summer's downstairs in the shop and she's talking to Asher about the niggles that she's feeling about what Carl said before. Oh, that's the other story, isn't it? I knew that I'd end up merging these. So forget I said that and remember later.
Well,
Summer's getting suspicious.
You've got to forget that as well then. That bit. Whole chunk.
Oh, yeah, oh my gosh. I've just merged all these stories far too much. They shouldn't do it. So Summer goes to the flat and notices the cases, basically. And says, oh, you're going on holiday? And he's like, no, we're moving to Belfast in the morning. So, drama's there. Rupert is with George later, and Rupert is the guy from Rest Easy, who was last on the show a couple of years ago, I think. And he's seemingly... He's very smarmy, isn't he, about getting the Undertakers. It's been valued. He's like, yeah, we're going to rebrand it as the Victoria Street branch of Rest Easy. And George he's pretty much given up. He's just there, ready to shake on the deal, when Glenda bursts in with some... there's a couple of supporting artists there, aren't there, shall we say, who are telling George just how wonderful he is and how he wants them to do his funeral. And it's their funeral. And it's like, it was really, really twee.
That's really nice of you, but how ill are you? Because it doesn't matter.
I didn't like this. Sunday's episode on a whole didn't sit right with me. Most of it was to do with the Roy story. But even this scene here, it was... I get what they were going for, and people saying, George, they're like the fans, aren't they?
Who would care this much?
I think you're right. I mean, I don't know.
When you're older...
How many people do have as an undertaker that they just, you've been...
The family undertaker?
Yeah.
What? How many...
Look, open up the yellow pages to you.
When you're going through a really tough time in your life, especially if you're older and you probably don't have much support, then probably somebody like this could be really like a lifeline. Like at the funeral I went to today, the funeral directors did his wife's funeral, and he would apparently still go round there and bring them biscuits and cards and stuff at Christmas. And he always wanted them to do his funeral because of how much they looked after him. And I was thinking about George, but I can't imagine that many people. Maybe I'm just cynical.
I suppose
I don't know.
They haven't been backwards and coming forwards about telling us just how beloved Shuttleworths is by the community. It's not like they've suddenly invented now, hey, everybody loves...
But where are all these people 5 minutes ago. This is what
Yeah.
annoys me.
Yeah.
What
When
if
he
you're
was in
such
court.
brilliant cheerleaders for this guy and you care so much about him, why don't you go on the internet and say, shut up, he's great?
Yeah, just put something out there on Friend Connect saying, hey, does anybody like Shuttleworths?
Why don't you push some people off bridges and stuff? He needs the work.
Yeah, exactly. It did. As much as I also love George, to me that scene came across as just being that little bit too saccharine.
It was just a bit like if Disney did funerals. And it's like, how do you drum these people up like at short notice? I guess they're all retired. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
It wasn't a great scene. It didn't hit for me, I'm gonna say. So Todd meets Summer in the pub later and says, "Look, I'm sorry, Abby. Stop it."
Somebody said that she's hungry. She's not hungry. I tell you, this cat is not hungry.
She just wants attention. He's like, sorry that we're going to Belfast without much notice, and she's like, well, maybe I'd respect it if this was your choice, but I don't think it is. What on earth are you doing? Why are you cutting yourself off from your friends and family? And Todd's like, well, he's my husband.
Yeah, since the other week.
Yeah, exactly. And Summer says, well, look, what if I told you something about him that you don't know? So this is again the Theo story, which is just kind of merging into this one.
The Carl story.
She's just about to tell him about what she knows about Billy's death.
Are you saving this up for me to say in my one?
Yes, you're going to be talking about.
But
this
how am
later.
I going to?
Oh, we'll figure it out. This is what happens when we're back to 6 episodes, and it's been a busy old week. It's been a very very busy old week.
Street.
Look, Todd.
We literally spent every spare moment.
Every spare moment this week has been doing podcast stuff.
Because we went up on Thursday, and really every spare moment has been
in service of providing to you.
That's all right, though, isn't it?
You will forgive us for the odd slip up and storyline mix, but anyway, look,
I'm still bamboozled from watching next week's. I was thinking today about. But I thought that. Oh yeah.
Anyway, Theo comes in and breaks up this conversation and says, "Look, I'm sorry that we had to break the Belfast news the way we did. But come on, Todd, let's get home. Let's get off. We got early morning tomorrow." And Todd says to Summer, "Look, come and see us in the morning, 9 o'clock. Come and give us a wave goodbye." And she gives him a big old hug and tells him that she loves him. And it's all very sweet and sad. So Christina later on is telling George that he can't give up on this business.
Well, this is during the confrontation.
Yeah, with Rupert and all the supporting artists. Yeah, he's there trying to tell them about how brilliant Rest Easy is, and he's like, "Oh, we got this app. We can choose your coffin on
it." This made me laugh because he was describing an introvert's dream, wasn't he? He was going, "Oh, we've got this great service where you don't have to speak to a human being. You just go online and you pick what coffin you want. You pick what your service. We've got pre-arranged like his mix and match, whatever you want. Just bob, and then we'll all take care of it, and you don't need to speak to anybody at all."
I say there's room in the market for both types of funeral arrangers.
That sounds great. It's perfect for people that you don't like, that you're somehow responsible for getting in the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
For a start.
I honestly think that some people, this would be right up their street.
Well, I mean, when I go, you're going to be going, "Where's the app for this then? How do I get rid of this thing?"
Yeah, that used to be Apple's catchphrase, wasn't it, when the iPhone came out?
Well,
there's an app for that.
Oh, yeah, it was, isn't it?
Close family relative died.
There's an app for that.
Yeah. Anyway, George is
like, no.
He's like, "No, you're a monster. Undertaking isn't just about stuffing a body in the ground. It's about
George.
caring about the people who are left behind." And
But what if they're not bothered? What if they are antisocial?
Or just very busy.
I'm busy. Look, now this person's dead. I've got twice the work to do.
Exactly.
I've got to do the washing up and the cooking for myself now. I've got to do my own laundry.
Well, it depends who it is that died, isn't it? Like, if the man dies in the relationship, then the woman's like, "No change there.
I'm free."
If the woman died, the man's like, "I've got a whole new skill set to learn there." We just asked Kevin when Abby left him last year.
Oh, hang on. Look, there's an app here that's laundry service, and you can get ready meals delivered. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kev's new tea making and pant washing app is coming really useful, hasn't it? Unfortunately, Kevin doesn't know how to use a smartphone, so...
No.
Anyway, George stuffs the papers back at George and sends him on his
Rupert.
way, and everybody... What did I say? Rupert. George
Yeah.
stuffs the papers back at Rupert and sends him on his way, and everyone has a jolly cheer because George has won, and maybe we...
What is this?
Yeah, very, very convenient.
I didn't need this. No, didn't need this to happen.
It's silly
Why
because,
did
they raised the stakes.
Oh, because why did they have this going on at the same time as everyone else? This could have been its own story.
It had been. I mean, we haven't always merged these two stories together, but
No,
it
I
felt...
know, but yeah, it did feel like part of this.
Yeah, because it's, George has got many things,
Why
many
is
plates
George
are spinning
doing
at once,
two
isn't he?
storylines at once?
Because everybody loves George.
I know, but I'd rather have... Is it because they're like, oh, he's going on holiday?
I didn't think that this funeral director's story and the morning suit storyline, as we called it, I never felt it was that strong a story. I think the fact that it was George and Christina in the story was what kept it afloat for me. The whole threat of, we're going to take you to court and the business could be over. It's been done. It's been a million times.
I give
before.
him props though for coming up with something completely unique and actually specific to a funeral parlour.
I guess so.
But it is a really interesting topic that actually I don't think they're going to ever do again, about how, did George ever stop and think, this isn't appropriate? Well, is it appropriate? Is it because we all like George and we think he should be able to?
Is what appropriate?
Just to get money from somebody who's grieving.
I suppose it's...
Because carers aren't allowed. There's very specific rules about carers, and they arguably do a lot more for people than a funeral parlour would.
Yeah, I've not been against the story. It's just not been... Yeah, as I say, I think had it been other characters other than George and Christina at the centre of it,
that would have been weird, wouldn't it? Why are they being sued for funerals?
So anyway, Todd and Theo are back home in the flat later, and Theo's waffling on about what to have for tea, but Todd says, "No, look, I'm sorry, I can't go." And at that point, I was like, "Oh my gosh, my heart's in my mouth here." He's like, "I can't go. Summer's really struggling. You go on ahead, find us a place to live, and I'll join you when it's all sorted." So what do you think Todd was getting at there? Was this his escape plan? Was that what... Or was he kind of testing out what it would be like with Theo? Did he feel... Was he thinking, am I going to miss him? Or was he literally just concerned about Summer, who has been rattling around in that flat on her own for the best part of, 3 months now?
I think he was being honest. I don't think he was trying to get out of... At this point, he's not trying to get out of going to Belfast. But he's just... Everything he said is true. I don't think he's lying. What do you think?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because the next day, he does try and do a
Yeah,
runner.
because he gets locked in overnight.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, this is what... Because they have a bit of a kiss and a hug. Because Theo's like...
You're her dad. She needs a dad. You couldn't ask for a better one. You're great. Have the dinner.
I wonder what Theo was actually... Well, I suppose there's no wondering about it, what Theo was thinking.
Well,
because he then, like you said, locks him up. But
Todd should have known better, because Theo says, look, go in the bedroom and sort the packing out. So he goes in there and Theo's like, it was a trick.
Yeah.
Nobody does their packing in the bedroom.
You know that handy lock that I installed on our bedroom door?
We had, I saw at least 2 comments, I think from Americans, going... This is crazy. Do you Brits really have lockable bedroom doors? No.
Lockable from the outside? No. That's not.
I don't
really
know why
thing.
you would. I don't know why you would assume that when this whole thing is about a guy who's goes to great lengths to abuse his partner. You just go, oh, they must all have that.
But it's not like Theo installed the lock as part of the story and as part of his abuse and his control. It was assumed that, yeah, of course he's got a lock because the plot dictates that he needs to have a lock.
It felt to me like he'd put that lock in on purpose because he knew it'd come in handy. You wouldn't have a lock like very rarely would you have a bedroom lock. I guess maybe parents might, with young children, might want one. Most people would only have a bathroom door lock that locks from the inside.
Yeah.
But obviously, you can have keyhole locks. I don't think only British people have keyholes.
I don't think so.
What do you guys do in America? Just psychically open doors.
Anyway, this was a really great cliffhanger, and it led to some really intense scenes on Monday, didn't it? Because we had this really long sort of bit between Todd and Theo at the beginning of Monday's episode.
Oh, hang on, did we actually say so? He just locks.
He locks him in the
locks
bedroom.
him in, and then goes off and turns the radio on and does the washing up.
Yeah.
And so Monday, he's still there.
Yeah, and we have these scenes where Todd's kind of pacing around the room and he's kind of fading in and out, and it's all night, isn't it? He's trying to get out. And I'm not usually a fan, as you know, of the visual effects, but I thought that this was acceptable to me.
Weird out the window, maybe. What do you reckon?
Yeah, they didn't go down that route, did they?
Is it just me that's obsessed with this? Is this like scatological of me or something? Every time a character is locked somewhere, this was the same for Toya, and also when Carla got stuck not stuck, she got locked into the boot and then into the...
How did they go to the toilet?
Where do you go to the toilet? Because this is a concern of mine. I use the toilet several times a day. Maybe I'm weird, but this would really... I wouldn't like this, and I know they couldn't, but like, what did he do? Did he wee in a bottle? Did he wee out the window? Did he wee in the corner of the room?
He's just got a very strong...
What would you do? Like, pile a bunch of clothes up so that it wouldn't soak into the carpet.
Maybe
and then
just
go?
Got like a little potted plant in the corner or
you can give yourself infection if you're not careful.
So Theo in the morning ends up talking to Todd through the door and says, I'm scared I'm going to lose you forever. And Todd says, look, I promise I am not going anywhere. And Theo, he's just flicking, isn't he? He's Jekyll and Hyde back again, and 1 minute he's blubbing like a baby, and the next he's yelling at him saying, no, you're lying and you're lying and you're lying, and sometimes I hate to look at you. And it's so scary. And I think, yeah, through this is definitely the moment where Todd's realising this isn't healthy.
This is unhinged.
Yeah, it is. Like, Theo is completely unhinged.
No matter what, this isn't right.
But I love it because I think the quick passing of time is helpful, because you see 1 minute Theo saying, I hate you, you're always lying to me, and the next he's saying, I love you, you're the best thing ever that's happened to me, there's nothing like you. And that's what these abusers do, isn't it? They kind of vent their frustrations and then love bomb afterwards.
Yeah.
But Theo, I think, as I say, genuinely does, in a way, think that he loves him, and he's just really, really super insecure about everything. But, he's saying, you treat me like something you scraped off the bottom of your shoe, and this continues all night until the next morning, when Todd wakes up slumped against the door. Both are sitting at the door. Theo's down on the other side, and Todd's in the room. And Todd's phone goes off. Theo's got the phone, hasn't he? He's got Todd's phone, so that's why he wasn't able to summon help.
To wee on it.
Although if there was a window, you'd have thought that maybe rather than just weeing out of it, he might have tried to call for somebody. So
imagine if he just weed on Sarah Lou. She's walking past and she's like, "Oh my god!"
That's why she took.
Todd needs help.
That's why she's taken Lou out of her name, because people kept weeing on her.
My name's Sarah. That's it.
Sarah Toilet Flat. No. Anyway, the Belfast alarm goes off, and this is on Todd's phone, and I found it quite interesting that it said Belfast with an exclamation mark afterwards, because he kind of puts this, when he put this alarm on his phone, he must have been excited about it, because just the title of that alarm, you wouldn't say Belfast as your 7 o'clock alarm, would you? If you weren't actually looking forward to it in some weird way.
What does what have you got for your alarms?
I don't name my alarms.
Oh, I do. I've got some. But I reuse them. I reuse them over and over again.
Have you got any highlights you'd like to share?
Battery packs. Cheese.
Cheese alarm. What's that about?
Don't know. I've got take out duck, and I've got put on duck. I've got leave house, and I've also got one that says Summer's Robot, and that was from when I was trying to get the eBay.
Oh,
I know where that one's from. I don't know what cheese, and also it's and hilariously it is cheese in all capitals.
No, so I don't do that.
Every morning I'm awoken by my cheese alarm.
Anyway, Theo's crying again, saying, "Oh, I really hate myself when I'm like this," and Todd's at this point he's like. He just needs to escape. He knows
is where he's decided.
Yeah, he says,
he
"Look,
lie to himself
you just
anymore.
need to open the door." And Theo says, no, I can't trust you. You're going to leave me.
Oh man, it's so dangerous here because you don't know what he's going to do. He could kill him.
He could.
Say,
We've
I'm
seen
not having
enough.
You leave me. I'm going to just kill you.
Yeah. It's almost like if I can't have you, then nobody could. We could get from Theo here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we got Sarah, George, and Summer, who
they think they're going to Belfast.
Yeah, they've come to see them off, and they're dinging the bell downstairs.
They've also got Belfast alarms.
They have all.
George probably does say cheese.
And Theo answers it. I love this. This was so clever.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Oh, we've left Cockers. We're already at a service station somewhere. Sorry, we're just so excited to go. Sorry, Todd's in a queue somewhere. He can't talk." This was so tense and exciting. And he says,
"What was the plan?
What
was their plan? Were they going to get out of this?
Well, how are they going to do it?
Yeah. What was Theo thinking? He wasn't, was he? He was just trying to get through.
I mean, there's not somebody on guard all the time there, but I suppose he was just going to try and choose his moment.
Also,
but when he told them that that's when they were leaving, he didn't know that he would then be having Todd locked up.
Of course not. But here's right. So if they booked a ferry, I presume they were going to go in their van.
Yeah.
Where's the van?
I think it was just outside there.
Well, why aren't they going all the vans there?
No, mate. No, you're right. No, you're right. It couldn't have been. Very good point. So I guess in a way, Theo is feeling almost as trapped as Todd is at the moment. He's like racking his brain about how on earth we're going to get out of this. No, exactly. He didn't.
Right, can't talk now. Todd's in the queue. Find you later. Bye.
Yeah. So anyway, they are appeased for the time being, and they head off. And this is when it's revealed, yes, he is still in the flat, and Todd's saying, "Oh, I think I've found a way to prove that you can trust me."
Yeah.
So he's like, "If you give me the phone, I'll call Sarah back and I'll back up what you said." And this seems to do the trick for Theo. So he opens the door, gives the phone to Todd. He phones up Sarah and corroborates the story. He's like, "Yeah, we're fine. We're on a service station somewhere. We're back in a few weeks to sort out loose ends." I saw somebody online wondering whether there was like a code word that Todd had dropped in there. But that's for another story.
What would be yours to me?
What, to let me know that I'm in trouble?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd have to...
"Hi, Michael. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be back early today. Don't wait up for me. Just watch EastEnders without me and I'll catch you later."
Yes, that would give it away, wouldn't it? Even if you said watch Coronation Street without me, I think that something was a little bit off there, to be honest.
I've given up watching
It is a joint
Coronation
family
Street.
activity. Anyway, so he ends the call, and Theo's face is saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. And Todd's giving a hug, and it was...
We'll sort it out together. I'm not going to give up on you. We can go to Belfast this afternoon."
Yeah, and I'm just like, what is going to happen here? So they carry on packing for the trip, and as soon as Theo heads into the shower, that's when Todd attempts to break out, and this was so mega tense.
What are you packing a bag?
He's grabbing his escape bag, and I'm like, just go.
Just leave.
Todd, just go. And it's all action cam, and he goes to the door, but the door's locked, and he's like, what do I do?
This was the greatest part, though, because I'm sure we were all saying the same thing. Like, just leave the bag, get out. And it wouldn't have made a damn bit of difference because the door is locked.
I was there cheering for him to just jump out the window at that point.
Well, we out the window. He doesn't want to land in a load of wee.
It's a nice,
No, it's not going to be a soft landing, is it, Michael?
We'll dive in. It depends how much you drank the night before.
If you can wee enough that you can flood Coronation Street the following day, you're probably overhydrated.
Anyway, then we hear the jingle of the keys, and it's Theo.
He wasn't even in the shower.
He'd not gone in there. He was one step ahead of Todd.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think he probably still hoped that Todd was going along with it, but I think if I was Theo, I'd probably have some kind of backup plan there, to be honest. And he's like, "You lied to me. This is the last time that's going to happen." And he backs Todd into a corner, and that's the last that we see of them in that episode, wasn't it? That was the end of Monday's episode.
No, it wasn't.
It was, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't, because...
Oh, no, it wasn't. I forgot.
Sarah and Kit.
Sarah and Kit. Yeah, they're in the flat. And then, this was brilliant.
People had a problem with the logic here, but I didn't really.
I didn't at the time, but once
really
it was pointed out to me, maybe. But yeah, Todd buzzes up. Kit and Sarah are in the flat, and she's like, "Oh, I thought you'd gone. Come up." And he's like, I can't. And
she just runs.
The
she
way
drops
that
the phone.
Yeah, that was the way that he delivered that "I can't." The way that she drops the phone and it's there dangling. That was just so super exciting.
Kit's
like,
what? Mess, leave a mess.
What on earth kind of state is Todd going to be in? And he is a bloody mess, isn't he?
Yeah.
He can barely stand up. He's there kind of leaning against the wall by Trim Up North. Yeah.
Holding his
really,
side.
really good makeup, actually. It was pretty gruesome stuff. And she says, "Look, you need to go to hospital." And he's like, "No, police station." At last, he's escaped him, but, at what cost? And where on earth is Theo at this point? What a brilliant, brilliant cliffhanger. That was so exciting. And as I say, the performance from Gareth Peirce all the way through this week was outstanding. And Sarah Louise, even though she didn't have as much to do, Tina O'Brien, that moment where she drops the... It's like, we all want a friend who are going to drop their phone when we think that we're in trouble.
One of the things that Kate Brooks said when she was going to take over was making friendship groups.
You're right.
About friendships. And she got a lot of stick from people because it didn't happen overnight. And it's true. It did. It trickled through, and there were definitely more. Felt like it was more attempts for that. But let's just think about this friend group that's crystallised around Todd in his moment of need, and the same with Debbie and her group of girlfriends.
And Christina is the common thread between both of them.
Yeah, Christina's just the best.
She is just the friend maker of the street.
She is, but you know what I mean? Like, they've really done a really good job of this, I think. Of like, unfortunately, in other families, friends just turn out to be secret relatives and it all goes down the pan.
Yeah, but it has been really lovely to see the bond that Ben and Stick have just kind of developed over the past month, even if it's been somewhat
It's just been hilarious
plot serving.
With Tim being jealous.
But this, you're right. In a soap that is so often awash with misery and backstabbing.
Well, this is misery.
Oh, I know it is, but it's more
the joyful.
It's more
of
palatable.
Friendship,
It's less harrowing if the person who is having something miserable done to them has got friends as good as Sarah is to Todd, as good as Sally and Christina and everyone are to Debbie.
This is why it's a really powerful story too, because, like, for example, when you're going to give me crap for this, but I don't care.
Oh yeah, well, listeners.
You are.
Okay.
When Sean was homeless.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
Sean homelessness mention of the week.
Worst story of all time. Because the whole point of Coronation Street is these bonds of community, and he really could have solved his problem at any point by telling people he was in need. And so it didn't really make sense for Coronation Street to do the story the way they did. Whereas this story worked perfectly because the whole... the whole way that abuse functions is to alienate you from your support network. And when they all had the chance to come back, they proved that they were there all along, and it was just that Todd was so desperately lost that he didn't know that he could ask them for help and they would be there. Yeah. And so it's really lovely. And it's the same with Debbie. She's so open and honest with her struggles, and so her friends can rally around her. I don't know what's going to happen with that, because obviously I think she's going to start to alienate people if she becomes... personality changes, and we've already seen her being aggressive and shouting a few times recently. Yeah.
Well, for Todd, this was the Yasmin attacks Jeff with a bottle moment, wasn't it? This was the kind of the big turning point in the story that marks the end of the abuse in some way, but the story continues on, and I think they chose the right time to do it.
Yeah.
It felt like they needed this. And all these weeks where we've been saying, "Oh, Todd, just go, just leave, just..." It's all built up to this, and it was superb. And we had this very special episode on Wednesday, which was the single thread story, the episode, which we've had a couple of this year, and I'm a big fan of these. And I'm at school on Wednesday. I just want to get home and watch this episode. I need to know. I just want to see it because I knew that it would be well written. I knew that it would be very respectfully done. I knew that it would be well performed. And I wasn't let down. I have seen some criticism of elements of the episode since it aired. But yeah, on the whole, I was just sitting there mesmerised by Wednesday's Coronation Street. It was absolutely top quality, Corrie, for me. I mean, what's your overall before we go into it, thoughts now on Wednesday's episode?
I got to nitpick some things. I'm sorry. I wish I didn't. But I know I'm the only one who thinks that some of these things. Like, first of all, the purple motif was great. I did get a chuckle from Coronation Street's tweet saying that the design team did it in collaboration with Coronation Street, as though they don't normally collaborate with the show they work on. But
it was funny because I think maybe we need to say what that purple theme was, because it was very, very subtly
you would
done.
only get it from the marketing.
Yeah, you would not have, well, I guess, wouldn't have noticed this had it not been pointed out. But
so the purple has been chosen as the colour to represent domestic abuse survivors, I think, for various reasons. And so throughout the episode, people who had suffered from abuse or survived abuse had been wearing purple. So
there was the women all the way through the episode. Now
Tyrone had what?
Tyrone did as well. Had his big purple jumper on, and Kirsty got a shout out, didn't she?
I just want to say one quick thing where I said victims and then I said survivors. I know that people prefer to use the word survivors, but the problem is that when you're actually going through it, there's no word. If you're not going to use the word victim, what do you use? Like all the way through this until this point, Todd has been a victim of Theo's abuse. You can't say he's a survivor because he's not got out. He's not got out yet. So I use the words, and I know that some people have an issue with it. But,
I really, really enjoyed the addition of these extra characters, because before we watched the episode, I'd seen a few things on social media kind of mentioning these people, but I didn't really know what was going on. And the camera made a point of showing them, and sometimes it was more subtle than others, but giving kind of clues, wasn't it? It's like, oh, what's going on there? Like the woman who was kind of scuttling along Victoria Street with her 2 children. It's like, oh, you could kind of blink and miss it, couldn't you? And then at the end of the episode, you see them huddled at the bus stop, and you realise what's going on. And then there was the other woman who was sitting at the bench outside the hospital and kind of doing a bit, kind of some dramatic glances left and right, because she's obviously been, I think that was for the so-called honour abuse element of it. And there's plenty been said on either side about the big monologue at the end, but I was almost not listening to the monologue because I was so captured by just these little story vignettes of the survivors. I really, really did rate that.
I know lots of people really loved that, the monologue. I didn't think it was necessary.
That's your other nitpick, isn't it? One of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my nitpicks, and I think this, then I'll stop.
No, it's fine. That's what we're here for.
No, but listen, I this was great. I thought this was really powerful. Two nitpicks. I wish that there had been another man at the end, because I thought that all the way through, we're talking about domestic violence and we have a male victim and it's really powerful. I know Coronation Street did it with Tyrone and they acknowledged that.
Yeah. But one of the
survivors could have been a man, and I think that when the comment was like, oh, it's mostly women, yeah, we know, but this story was supposed to be focusing on male domestic, and men can find it very difficult. I just didn't like the idea that men were being sidelined in a story about
male domestic abuse,
something that affects them, that they often get sidelined with, because many victims of this are too ashamed to speak up, and just to make it like an afterthought, at the end of this very powerful story, I get, and then people will argue with me. Okay, that's fine. I just, that's how I felt. Yeah,
it felt, I didn't feel it at the time, because I was almost not paying attention to what Lisa was saying. I was looking at the visuals, and because these characters had appeared earlier, I wasn't even thinking, oh, there's not a man there, because these are the women. I was like, who's that from earlier? But after the episode, and I saw the discourse around that, I definitely agree that there should have been a male victim in there. It's almost like it was hijacked in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable. It's that women are
Most commonly, yeah.
But it would imagine if they'd had Dee Dee talking about maternal health, and then every single person on her vignette had been a white woman, when the whole point was her talking about women of colour who experience discrimination in healthcare settings.
Yeah, no, that's a really good comparison, actually.
Yeah, my other nitpick was, and I'm really sorry.
Sorry, Debbie Oates.
Well, Debbie Oates didn't do, the bit where I don't know, but the bits where Todd was being photographed, and that was really powerful too, because you realise how vulnerable and you can see why people don't want to do it. Why they back out. It
was done really well vulnerable. To look so kind of intrusive, and Gareth was he was
cowering.
Yeah, like ashamed of himself because he's covered in these bruises
and blood,
and he just looked utterly broken and like a little horrible. Kicked puppy, didn't he? It was such a great performance.
How can we do something to help people like this? I just don't know. There must be is there something we can? It's just so sad to think this happens every hour of the day. But the bit where he's walked through without his top on, I get dramatically it looked, very confronting and real, look at this sad, the abuse is written all over his body.
What's happened to him.
But I would hate somebody to watch this and go, I don't want to go through with this because I don't want to be paraded around the police station with my clothes off. I didn't like the woman walking past him, and I know that I get it. I just think if his top had been on, I would have felt differently about it. It just felt like she was horrified at his vulnerable state rather than the abuse that he'd been through.
She was one of the...
She was also a victims
as well, wasn't she? She was the one that was getting knocked
She's
about
the one
by her
who
husband
ends up
and then
going back to him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did she look at him and go, "Oh, that's not as bad as what I've had to deal with"? I don't know. I don't think that was it was written into that story. You can just... This is all...
It does kind of make me think, and then, maybe this is true. Do they? How?
They would not.
They
wouldn't
have paraded him around the station with his top off. Your dignity would be really important
to them, and I was also glad to see that Kit was there. I know lots of people hate Kit. I don't think anyone would be happy to see Kit when we're in need of anything, except a sarcastic comment maybe. But it was nice to see
an oversized hoodie.
A man there, to support him, but also making him sit there with blood on his face all the way through the interview, and then also not checking him out. It's all for drama. I know it's all for drama, but would you really make this poor anyone sit there covered in blood?
I don't know how it works, because obviously police stations do have their medics there that are able to give you a proper once-over. And Todd was the one who decided.
Yeah, people said, he said he wanted to go to the police station. He didn't want to go. How would they know? I don't know. I just think you'd get him checked and wash his face, wouldn't you? That's it. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be a nitpicker.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think I didn't feel that away. As I was watching the episode. I was just enthralled by it, but I do get it. And
it did not take away from it. I just want to be very clear. I thought it was really dramatic. I thought it was very, having this whole special episode just around this. It was so sad to see him just... Somebody said on the comment section of our YouTube, like, "Oh, are you happy, Gemma, now? You get to hear inside his brain." And yeah, I was.
I didn't say that.
I don't think they were being confrontational, but you always read it like that on the internet, don't you?
Just put a smiley emoji afterwards.
Just do a wink.
Just so that Gemma don't get paranoid.
But then I think you're being sarcastic. No, but they were saying, like, you finally get a window into what he was thinking. It definitely was appreciated because, like I said, we've not been able to hear his thoughts really because he's not had anyone. Oh, and this is what abusers do. They separate you so that when you can't talk about it because you end up defending the person that you're with instead of telling the person what you're going through. You're like, no, it's not that bad. You can't. He couldn't tell anyone what he was thinking because then that he knew that they would say leave.
What, like Billy did?
Yeah.
When he found out back in January. I also, and this isn't particularly to do with the episode, it's reminded me of what I was talking about with Gareth last week, and when I said to him, look, why Todd? How does this work for him? Because I think that's a big question that a lot of people had of this storyline? Why would Todd take this? And he said, well, Todd himself has been through a transformation over the years. He's had his dark past, but he's come out the other side, and he thinks that maybe the same could happen to Theo. And I think that definitely did help me to understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, it was good to talk to Gareth, and obviously his performance in this episode was incredible. Debbie Oates' script, really great, really moving. We saw the person who edited this as well was on Twitter saying that he had worked on the editing for this, and at the end, the vignettes, that was very powerful too. And it was good to see Jess.
I was just going to say, that's almost one of my favourite things about this episode, the inclusion of Jess in it, which is silly because, she's a very, very infrequently appearing character, yet another cop on the street.
Who are we to start saying we like to see another copper on the street?
But I
just really
felt
like
that
her.
she was a real kind of heart of the episode, and that scene where she's watching the woman go back to her car, and she does this little shake of the head with Lisa standing behind her, and it's like, that says so much.
Yeah.
And we don't know much about what Jess is like. We don't know much about her personality, what makes her tick.
Has she got a girlfriend, boyfriend, cat, dog?
Yeah, exactly. Flooded flat.
Yeah.
But
she's got a pet, she better watch her
but
back.
I felt
because if she wants to be a regular character, they're going to drown it.
I just felt like with those few little scenes with Jess, it really helped me to get her as a character even more. And it's like,
and it was
maybe
good.
there is room in the street for another regular police
like
character.
her.
I really, really rate her. And I just love the fact that she's been on the show for so long. I don't know, how long has she been on? 7 years, 8 years now? And she probably hasn't got 50 episodes under her belt. It was just fantastic all round. And Jess's inclusion was really the cherry on top for me.
I think it was really good as well. In the script, Debbie Oates, had this young green cop being, what's the word? Not schooled, but, educated by this more experienced cop who'd seen it all happen before and go, I know how you're feeling, I know what it's like. And you see somebody in who's on the journey that Todd's been through already.
Yeah.
And they're not quite ready to move on. And, Jess is being consoled going, I know that this is hard for you to see this, but this is just how it is. And maybe we all think that that could never happen to us, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah. And
so
with Jess as well. That
part of the speech was really important, actually, just having the police officers talking about their experience of really hard watching somebody. You probably see the same people coming in over and over again, and you help them because that's your job, and of course you want to help them, but it must be so hard to see them come back.
Yeah, I really like Jess, that she's still kind of the pure Weatherfield cop, because Kit's obviously bent as anything. Yeah. Lisa has sometimes made questionable decisions in pursuit of justice, but Jess was kind of the beacon of, this is a pure-hearted copper who is, she's
all we've got now. Craig's dead.
She lives to serve, and in a way, Craig, who was also, he's a bit inept, wasn't he? Said? But he was pure of heart, and he's kind of living on a little bit through Jess, I think. But I am glad that it was Jess that was there, and I don't think it would have hit quite the same if it was Craig watching the woman get back into the car, because I just felt that I felt Jess's resonance with that victim, because she's not a survivor yet, is she?
Because she's young and she's not seen it all happen.
Yeah. Anyway.
What happened
in the episode? It was basically that, wasn't it?
One thing I like about your notes, Michael, is that because of your watching The Bill for so long, you'll always situate things in the soft interview room.
The soft interview room, yes. Well, the one with a nice comfy chair.
It's not where you're being interrogated.
No, not the interrogation chamber. Yeah. So Kit's there with Todd. This is where they take you if you're not
done anything wrong.
Not having the spotlight shone on you, exactly. And Kit's saying to Todd, look, do you want to open up about what's happened? and Billy, sorry, Billy.
Well,
Todd, he's talking about Billy, isn't he? Not Billy, the other dead Billy, his son Billy, and Todd's still blaming himself for this, and it could have come across as being a bit, oh come on, but it didn't. It was such a realistic and raw performance from Gareth Peirce, and he's saying, oh yeah, I shouldn't have let Theo see the bag. I should have. He doesn't even know what to say. He says, I should have been more. I should have been less.
What did I do wrong? I've done something wrong. How can I have done it
should have said something. I should have explained. He's just putting it all himself. He's still, despite having escaped, he's still under Theo's spell, isn't he? Because he felt he loved him, and even towards the end of this week, he's saying, "How can I still love somebody who did this to me?" And that's the really power of love, isn't it? For some people,
it's really hard to get into that. So I hate you all the time, because when you. Don't empty the dishwasher or so. You don't do that anymore, do you?
It is not my job at the moment.
Just terrible. Immediately divorce.
Anyway, so Lisa's saying, look, what happened? And then we cut to Theo, because all this time I was like, where is Theo at the moment?
I thought this was the police investigating to start with.
Oh,
because I wasn't looking properly.
And so he's in the flat. There's blood on the floor where this all went down.
Do you know what's horrible about this as well? Is
Quite
that
a lot.
He backed Todd into the opposite wall of that flat, and the blood is over the other side
by the kitchen.
So he would have. Let's not talk about it. But the fact that there's multiple areas.
Do you think it was more effective that we didn't see it? Because we've seen quite a few beatings and slamming his face into mirror. There's been lots of violent scenes and. That threat at the end of Monday's episode, I think this was a case where imagination
does more work.
Yeah, I think they were absolutely right.
I wonder what they.
As much as like I said, I had been enjoying, I had been enjoying watching because I was gripped by it. Those scenes of terror between the two of them, because I was so invested, and better than flipping Roy's cafe catching on fire with no flames.
First of all.
But I didn't feel like I was robbed of a scene here.
No, it was far more effective off screen.
Yeah.
So the doorbell goes.
Yeah, so he hops up and he sees Christina and George are there outside, and they've obviously been told what's happened at this point. George is blaming himself.
What does Theo think he's doing at this point?
I think he's just trying to.
Where does he think Todd's
cover up the evidence?
Is this the next day or is this the same day? It must be the same day.
Yeah, this must be the same day. This can't be long after it's happened. We didn't mention earlier the nitpick that some other people had.
Well, I think we said this.
Did we?
What about him travelling through
the length of the street? So he was literally, you couldn't be further apart, these two flats, unless Sarah Louise lived in the co-op.
You know that bit where Gail does her BAFTA soliloquy?
Yeah.
And she's like, I like to think we look out for each other on this street now. But you know what? If I saw Todd Grimshaw walking past with a face full of blood, I'd just close the curtains and let him go. And Audrey's like going,
Yeah. This is what Corrie has lost since Gail
has bobbed Gail's not there, Eileen's not there.
There's no curtain twitches in Coronation Street anymore.
Nobody's scrapping in the street that might see him walk past.
Yeah, so Todd literally dragged himself. He couldn't even stand up outside Trim Up North, but somehow he managed to get himself from the corner shop all the way halfway down Victoria Street.
That scene of her dropping the phone and running was really cool, but maybe she could have just been walking with Kit out of the bistro for a nice meal and see him and then taking him.
I've got, even though it is ridiculous because people are always bumping into each other, I have got no problems with the way that scene ended. It was stellar.
Yeah, I know. It didn't bother me.
It's just kind of funny to think about.
Yeah, I know. You have to address some of these things, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't affect, everyone knows that Rose could have let Jack on the door.
Yeah.
But we still love that he died.
Exactly.
Don't we? We love that film.
Fizz is there as well, isn't she? Because she obviously later in the episode is talking with Tyrone about his abuse from Kirsty, so she kind of learns about it. And obviously Jenny McAlpine has had nothing to do with this story so far, but it was lovely seeing a genuine kind of shocked and sorrowful reaction from her towards one of the neighbours. And whenever these things come out, you always get the character saying, "Well, what if I'd noticed? What clues did I miss?"
That's kind of like what Gail gave that speech when Aidan had killed himself, and she was like, "How we didn't even see." And they didn't learn a lesson, did they, from that? Because they still didn't see what was going on.
Didn't see it with Yasmin. They didn't see
Mind
it with
you,
Todd.
all the people that mattered knew what was going on.
Yeah, they just couldn't do anything about it, which is why it was so frustrating. So Sarah's, there was a lovely, heartbreaking / lovely, well performed little scene outside the factory where Sarah Louise is leaving a message on Todd's phone,
really
isn't
bad
she?
for Sarah.
And then Gary comes along and she has a little cry with him
and
about what happens.
all these little groups of people that really have, like, often in Corrie, once you're done with a relationship, that's it. You never even, a new viewer wouldn't even know that they ever were together or anything. And so that bond that you get to see re-emerge.
Well, it's like the bond that we've seen re-emerge with Sarah and Todd.
That's what I was getting
over the years.
Well.
Yeah. So we're back in the interview room next, and Kit's being told by Todd that he kind of liked Theo's jealousy. He's like, I've never known anybody that liked me this much.
And this is one thing
that makes sense.
We said something before about Todd has kind of really not had very many relationships. Like, Billy has been his longest relationship, and that didn't turn out very well.
I'm trying to think. How long
kind
was he with?
Skipped from boyfriend to boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, he was with Sarah, and then he was he ended up leaving her because of Carl at the hospital. Was he with Marcus for a bit? I can't remember. But you're right. He's
never had the kind of love that he thought he found with Theo.
No,
he never felt like, even when he was with Sarah, I think I would say that after Billy, she's been his most significant positive relationship. But obviously he was gay, and that was always doomed.
I don't think that when he started with Sarah, he had really figured that side of himself out.
They hadn't sorted out that was his story.
No, they hadn't decided that was his story.
But yeah, you know what I mean, though? Like, this is a completely different kind of relationship, and he's one of the few characters who's not had that because, various reasons, not being on screen and changing heads.
Well, also, Todd, to me, hasn't felt like a long-term relationship kind of guy.
No.
He's kind of goes from one guy to another, and then he gets bored, he breaks their heart, he doesn't care. Yeah. Which is a little bit of self-sabotage going on in Todd's romantic history as well. But you're right, yeah, in this one, he thought that he had something, and he liked that Theo was being jealously possessive of him. And he's still defending him and saying, look, Theo doesn't want to be a violent man. And I suppose maybe I'm under Theo's spell the same way as Tom was saying, because I was saying before. But I don't want to get myself in trouble. Don't want to get myself in trouble.
It's like, Theo doesn't do this to anyone else. It must be my fault.
Yeah. And they say, look, we need evidence for this.
Well, have this happened before?
Yeah.
What proof have you got this happened
You've spoken to a doctor, anybody know, their medical records, and Todd's like, well, no, when it happened before, Theo made me stay in the flat. He looked out for me.
Didn't he go, though, to the hospital once? He did.
Did he?
He did, and the nurse or doctor, I can't remember, asked him specifically, have you been abused?
Yes.
And he was like, no, I haven't.
Yes, he did. Well, wasn't that in the Behind Closed Doors episode?
Probably. They would have a record of that. They're not going to be, but he said something different. They're going to be so accustomed to...
I got a feeling, you're right, I'd forgotten about that scene, and I got a feeling that the nurse who asked him, when he, or she, I can't even remember that, got the answer from Todd, I got the impression that they didn't believe him.
Me too.
You can't push, like...
You can't be like, you liar.
Are you sure you're not being abused, you big fat liar? Yeah, exactly. So
imagine if they said that.
Maybe that will come into it. I mean, it's still very flimsy evidence, isn't it? They need hard facts.
Well, I mean, it all depends on what happens to Theo next week, whether you're going to need evidence or not, doesn't it?
Well, yes, that is very, very true. So anyway, Todd's kind of saying, he's just blaming himself. He's saying, I'd provoke him, I'd say the wrong thing.
Starts defending him.
Kit and Lisa must have heard this.
Yeah.
Again and again and again from the countless victims or survivors that they've interviewed in the past. And I think that they both put on a good performance as well, Jacob and Vicky, just in the the real genuine sympathy I felt from them, and the pity, I suppose, as well.
Pity feels like a judgmental word, but I know what you mean.
And it's the fact that it's one of their neighbours as well. And again, how realistic would this be that you'd be being interviewed? I don't know whether you'd want that or not, whether it would make you feel safer.
I don't think it'd be allowed.
But yeah, I
think a lot of people have said this. Would not be allowed.
Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile on the street we've got Theo trying to do a runner. His van is round by Victoria Court.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I know, nitpicks. I didn't mention any procedural issues that surely exist because I don't know.
We don't know them. Anyway, he can't find his keys, and then Gary pops up behind them, shaking them, and this is really great mirror to when Todd was looking for the keys to get out the other day
you're
as
trapped
well.
too, buddy.
And he gets a big old taste of his own medicine, and tells Gary saying, "Right, get into my van." And I'm going to take you down to the police station. And he's got Theo's wrench with him there, and he's like, well, if I clubbed you with this, then I'm just going to say it's self-defence. So Theo, although I probably think that Theo could have taken Gary, he feels like he's got no choice but to get into the van there.
I just love Gary doing this. It's redemption for Gary.
I still feel that we could have probably got a little bit more of Gary this week. He kind of came in and was the hero for a bit.
He got to be the hero, yeah. He's like Abby.
I was just going to say, this is a total Abby move that Gary pulled.
We need a storyline where Abby and Gary team up to save somebody.
Yeah, just the, what's it called? Vigilante.
Yeah,
sort of story for the two of them, yeah. So back to Todd anyway. He confirms that Theo has never threatened to kill him, and how he does love him. He talks about Ireland. He thinks, we could have been happy there. He also admits, and this was quite a sort of line, he says, I did worry about killing myself once.
No.
That's why I put these cameras in. What?
He was worried about Theo doing it.
Oh, did he?
I'm convinced this is correct.
Oh, I don't know.
He was concerned because they said to him, I'm sure this is right. They said to him, have you ever thought about killing yourself? And he said, no, not me, but I was worried about Theo. And this is something abusers do, is they threaten.
Oh, okay.
They threaten this all the time. Manipulate people and try to make them feel as though they're responsible for their well-being by saying, oh, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to, abusers do this all the time. Okay. And they would have known, this kind of strengthens his point. Rather, it feels on the surface that it kind of undermines his point that he was so concerned about Theo's mental and physical well-being, but actually it just proves how manipulative Theo has been all this time. You're never responsible for somebody else, and I think that's really important to say if anyone's had that abusive technique used on them. Just remember, it is just an abusive technique.
Kit kind of thinks he's got a lead when Todd mentions that video footage, doesn't he? The stuff that Billy saw, and he says, "Where is it?" But it's all getting a bit too much for Todd at this point, and they have a break.
Kevin ejected the USB stick too early.
Yeah.
So it's gone.
Heed those warnings. Todd's in the front office later after the break, and of course this is when Theo comes in with Gary.
Another procedural snafu, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's for the drama.
Yeah, and Theo's saying to Todd, "I forgive you." Oh, what a git! And
we
he's
can
like,
work
"We can work this out," and then he's obviously hurried into the side room at that point.
Gary just battering him with a wrench.
Todd goes along to the hospital, and then just for the drama, he has a bit of a faint in the car park. George, meanwhile, is
all the way through the interview. He's going, "Ow, my ruptured spleen."
Yeah, can you take the hint?
What does it do again? I've forgotten. Who else had this the other day? Somebody did, didn't they? Do you remember? Somebody else had this, and we said, "What does a spleen do?"
I've still never learned after all these years of spleen
Isn't it like filter out the tea leaves or something?
I don't know. Yeah, there's a little scene in the pub where George is blaming himself. This is where Tyrone's remembering about Kirsty. And Summer comes into the pub and learns what happened as well and rushes out when she realises what's gone on to her poor little one single remaining dad.
Oh dear, she's got to cultivate some new ones.
Theo's in the interview room later.
Yeah.
Kit's on a break, so in comes silent partner, giving Lisa the chance to give him a good old interrogation. And he says, well, me and Todd, we were just celebrating. We were going to Northern Ireland. It was going to be fine. And he's all the way through this, he's kind of painting himself as the victim, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
And he says he admits that he's beaten him up, and he says, I'm not proud of how far it went, but I do love him. But he's there asking for equal treatment, isn't he? And he says at the end, you confiscating my devices. Well, I hope you're going to do the same as with Todd as well. And he's just utterly deluded. But fortunately for Todd, Lisa's having absolutely none of this, and she's like, "Fuck, you've been beating him up. No way, you're the bad guy in this, Theo." So yeah, I did really appreciate that little attitude from no nonsense Lisa. We learned that Todd has indeed got a lacerated spleen and internal bleeding, but it's fine. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you just been doing a little bit of Googling about what a spleen is for?
I just Googled, why do people in Coronation Street always get ruptured spleens?
What is a spleen and why do they wander?
Well, it's
really
left-handed and most people are right-handed, and so it's right on their very edge of, so you've got one side you've got your liver and the other side you've got your spleen. It's just hanging out right where you get punched.
What's it
almost
for?
like it's asking for it. Now I don't like victim blaming.
Victim blaming of
but
a
the
spleen.
spleen is always involved in these fights, isn't it? It starts to become a pattern.
Yeah. Should have evolved to have had a protective casing around our spleen by this point, or at least in Weatherfield.
Some kind of like I don't know, exoskeleton. If evolution was real.
So what's it for?
I don't think it does anything. I think it just ruptures when you it blows up. It's like the drama.
It's there for dramatic purposes.
It's
God put it in
organ.
there.
It's like, right, we'll have one that doesn't do anything, which is the appendix, and then we'll have another like comedy exploding organ.
And the appendix is there also for dramatic purposes in storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah, where you get mysterious illness and then that blows up as well.
Anyway, that's always...
Are those the only two ones that just blow up? I mean, your heart does, I guess.
They're the ones that can blow up
explode
for drama, and people will generally be fine if they catch it quick enough. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the storytelling of the episode. What we're ended with is this soliloquy from Lisa that you were talking about earlier, and she's talking about, isn't domestic abuse rubbish? Is my abridged version of it, isn't she?
Well, I can see you didn't write this episode.
I didn't write down because, as I said earlier, I was really paying attention because I was so interested in what these other little side characters were doing.
Well, they also had this leaflet, didn't they? The Surviving the Storm, which was purple, and we'd seen that before when we went to the set.
Yes. So she just kind of talks about domestic violence and abuse and how difficult it is for people to escape it, and how in her position as a police officer she's seen so many difficult stories of women not being able to escape these relationships. It was really well written. It was really well done. Some people have suggested that it was her referring to the Becky storyline. I'm not personally in the camp that thinks that. But it was a nice little soliloquy, but it's really, as soon as any character in Coronation Street starts a monologue like that, the cynic in me just thinks, oh, awards, you're trying to redo the you know what I mean? They had it with Tim at the end of the knife crime episode last year, didn't they? It's like, right, everybody, we're just going to stop the action now. We're just going to have some little montages of other characters while one character speaks over it. It just doesn't feel right for a soap, and maybe it was fine when Gail did it because it was a bit new there, but I think it really is just the cynic in me going, oh, here we go again.
I mean,
which is a shame because the writing was great. It was really, really good.
I'm sure I said this, but I didn't really like Gail's one either. I'm sure I've said this.
Sacrilegious.
Lots of people do. That's fine. It just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me. Weirdly though, but you can still make a big speech and talk. I think it's the montage as well, and it's the way that it feels like you're being told. A
little bit of we have all learned a lesson today, haven't we, viewers? kind of turn to the camera
if you
and
haven't
say,
quite realised that today was an episode about domestic, like how could it escape your
I think,
notice?
you know, it's not as much of a bugbear for me as certain things like,
We've all got.
like the silly music and the dramatic the dramatic beats when something horrible and the wonky wobbly action cam and the CGI fireworks. But I think if they increase the frequency of these, I think it's still in a safe zone for me, which will be like, okay, I'll appreciate this. But if they start ramping this up, then I'm gonna have to have words.
These go in the same box as music. It feels too artificial and like a dramatic technique to try. Like it's too feels too obviously. You can see what they're doing, you know. It feels like a deliberate attempts to manipulate your emotions
rather than just a natural conversation.
Like allow you to feel, which you would do at this point. This episode was so good. You I don't know that you needed this to be. That's all I think about it.
And the fact that it was Lisa and Jess as well, who have they ever spoken to each other? And Lisa's here opening up about domestic violence.
She's probably going to go, right, Jess, now we're going to have to do your yearly appraisal.
Performance management now, anyway.
You're not going to make it, I'm afraid.
So there are nitpicks with this episode, but I was so excited about seeing it during the day on Wednesday. I was gripped from start to finish. I wasn't let down in the slightest. It's just little nitpicks.
Just never
take it,
but it also doesn't take away
it was a super strong episode.
Anyone who enjoyed this, it didn't take away from your pleasure and enjoyment because I had, a little tiny shopping list of things.
Yeah,
I just really liked the way it ended with Theo like.
Oh yes, I forgot that. That was brilliant. Yeah, with the camera underneath him, and
now I don't.
Oh, and Todd looking at himself in the mirror. Maybe a little bit too.
I wonder, and Weatherfield PD, not the best, I think would be definitely part of many crime podcasts having completely botched investigations leading to people getting released. Kind of like, they would definitely be the sort of cops involved in making a murderer. I wonder what they did with Theo. Did they look at his knuckles and stuff? Because if they haven't taken photos of them yet, he might actually be doing quite a clever thing by hitting the walls of the door of his cell to hide the evidence that it was him. But
I think he's saying it is him.
He did admit it.
He's not hiding the fact that he's done it.
I know, but just like that.
It's weird because he's surely got to get charged for doing this, but they're trying to get him for something more, aren't they? They're trying to get him for sustained abuse, and that's really like with the stalking. Sometimes it can be really difficult to get the evidence that's needed for that, even if they only had that evidence that Billy saw, would that be enough for the police? I don't know. This is how so many of these people get away with it, sadly. Not always. It's hard, and
even when you're fully cooperative, like you say.
And I'm, as soap fans, we know that Theo's going to get what's coming to him.
This is what takes
one way or another at the end. So.
This is what takes the pressure off of these kind of storylines, I think, because they can get really overwhelming. And this is why I don't like medical storylines, because there's no redemption at the end. There's no justice will be served. There's no just world. There's no everyone gets what they deserve.
Cancer's going to get what's coming to it.
Yeah, it's not like, oh yeah, we've just cured cancer and like dementia's over now. Well done. This is why I hate medical storylines, because I do like this rosy world of consequences exist, bad people get punished, of a soap. If I want something different, there's so many other genres where that doesn't necessarily happen. But just it's really sad when that world of like justice is intruded upon by biology.
Yeah, I know. Thursday's episode...
I think that was a bit of a revelation for me then.
Oh, there we go. Thursday and Friday's episodes were a little bit more low-key with Todd. We know he was still very much front and centre, but I think all of the major kind of drama and excitement of it was gone. Ooh. And I don't, excitement, is that the wrong word to use? But we were all very excited to watch Wednesday's episode, weren't we?
And it stores your red and white blood cells or something. Where are they going to live now?
So Todd's talking to Sarah and saying, because he's in hospital, isn't he?
Don't Google ruptured spleens with the image.
You're obsessed.
With images.
Todd's admitting to Sarah in the hospital that he just doesn't feel safe. Theo could, and she says, no, look, Theo's going to be locked up for a long time, and Todd's not so sure about this. They really, really need that evidence. And yeah, Lisa decides to release Theo. She hasn't particularly got much choice at this point because time is out. So she says, well, you're free, but we've seized all your electronic devices in your flat. You can have them back when the tech team have finished with them, and you are forbidden from having any contact with Todd whatsoever. I wonder how long that's going to last. And Theo's still saying, no, you got this the wrong way around. I'm not the aggressor. And the way Lisa kind of looks at him is like, yes, you bloody well are. And we're going to prove it. So, yeah. So, Kit's kind of explaining about the evidence to everyone in the pub, saying, we need to find evidence, firm evidence of sustained abuse. And that might not be so easy. Mary declares at this point that Todd can come back and stay at number 11 when he comes out tomorrow. And Gary notes that Theo was definitely planning to do a runner yesterday. We need to find this. We need to get him sorted fast before he is over the hill and far away. So Sarah jumps in to try and be the vigilante at this point, doesn't she? But you like to say, come on. You like to say that Sarah's useless, and so many of her plans don't work. But she didn't know that Theo was going to pop up behind her.
She didn't know that. Okay, whatever. She was really brave. She honestly was really brave, but she did annoy me because she gave it back to him. I just run off with it. What's he going to do?
I wonder whether she was trying to dress up as a bistro ninja. It's like, they'd all wear black, but all I've got is this one leather jacket, so I'm going to put that on, and then nobody's going to notice. That was a heart in your mouth moment as well, wasn't it? Where she's in the van, finds an iPad that's got some evidence on, presumably. Why would it? And then Theo jumps her, and I wasn't expecting that. And he's like, how dare you? She is super terrified. That was a great performance by Tina as he's leaning in on her. And having also been leaned in on by James Cartwright in the last week, I can, confirm that he can be a pretty terrifying guy, even though we know he's lovely.
You weren't even stealing his iPad or anything.
Just imagine what would have done if I was. So anyway, she passes the iPad back and legs it. Sorry, tablet, as they call it in Coronation Street.
Tablet.
Yes. No brands in Weatherfield for that.
Everybody calls it an iPad, even if it isn't.
I know. It's the brand name. What's it called when that happens?
Generic.
Like Hoover, yeah. Anyway, so Kit is a few minutes Sarah later for jeopardising the case, and she's like, well, I wouldn't have had to do this if you kept him in custody. And Kit's like, well, you screwed it up. We went back, we searched the van, the iPad was gone. He thinks that it's a setup. I don't know.
What is that like? He thought it was a setup to get Sarah to...
Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
Seems to have worked anyway, because this is the last that we see of Theo this week, don't we? He's not in Friday's episode whatsoever.
That all of a sudden Kit's like, oh, we can't bend the rules, Sarah. We can't be doing what we want.
He's mad that he's shacked up with a woman who's not anywhere near as stealthy as him when it comes to breaking the law.
He's probably quite relieved that she's not sneaky. We don't want your girlfriend to be sneaky, do you?
No, this is true.
You'd be like, oh, you're so adorable. You can't even steal an iPad from a... that's what you want in a girlfriend. You don't want her to be a bistro ninja.
Friday's episode is when we see number 11's grand return. Todd's got back from the hospital. This was, again, really, really great scene. And I will go on record by saying that Mary was super in this scene, and she was really kind of sympathetic. She's kind of riddled with guilt that she didn't intervene sooner. Everyone is the same, but I was just waiting and going, oh God, Mary, don't say anything stupid. Don't talk about your mum. Don't drop an anecdote about Ben Shepherd. And she didn't. This was Mary doing some serious acting without having to pull jokes, and yeah, absolutely loved it. So props to everybody involved there. It was such a lovely, warm and supportive environment that Todd was going back to, wasn't it? After the horrors of the flat that he's been confined in all this time. It's the house that he spent, a good proportion of the past 25 years living in. It's got lovely Christina. It's got lovely George, who's basically his surrogate dad, isn't he? Mary's there. It was
Mary's there.
He's got hot chocolate with those little marshmallow things in.
She's
also
got
known
whippy
as
cream.
marshmallow. Yes, she
Christina,
is. I can't
backstab.
believe it. Christina
Backstabber.
is undermining us by calling it whippy cream. We don't call it that in this country. I think we established on last week's podcast that
Christina.
squirty cream is what we've
That's
Brits
the
call
only
it.
thing that is allowed.
Whippy cream.
I'm not
What
sorry,
is this?
Christina. You've lost me, love. No, I thought that was very on brand for Christina to say. Whippy cream.
Anyway.
You like a bit of whippy cream and some mini marshmallows on your hot
Love
chocolate,
it,
don't
love
you?
it. Anyway, Todd's getting a bit overwhelmed at this point, isn't he? Because they're all kind of, what should we do? We put the telly on for you? Can we look after you?
Yeah, because he also is like, the only reason you're doing this is because I feel the thing that's happened, I feel very ashamed of. Because that shame is so sad that this is so prevalent in victims of all kinds of crimes and abuse. You just feel like you've done it to yourself, or it's your fault. It's just so horrible. It's such a horrible trick of the human psyche, isn't it? To blame yourself when something like this happens to you.
They end up going around the flat, George and Todd. George blows off his one chance of saving Shuttleworth from imminent
There'll be another
liquidation.
stiff along tomorrow.
Well, you wait a week and it's been fine. Wouldn't it be ironic if he closed down next Wednesday, the day before? The day
he's
before
got
the
a big
big
do,
murder.
hasn't he? He's got a big
Little
do.
does George know.
Well, if he just watched the trailer, he'd see it was in it. He's like, I've shown this to my bank manager, and he says that he can let us skip
Let
through
you keep
one
going
month.
just for a little bit longer,
I didn't know
as
you were
I've
part
heard
of
that
the
there's a
big
flash
story.
forward murder. Anyway, they go along to the flat, and Todd is just terrified, isn't he?
I know, this is
Returning
really
back
hard to watch.
to the scene of the abuse, and he
like,
he goes back into his kind of like feral.
He's like a rabbit. He's like a little rabbit.
Yeah, he's kind of looking out the window,
like
peeling back
prey
the blinds, because
animal.
hunched up.
Like being like hunted. Like he's looking everywhere.
Yeah.
Hearing sounds.
Well, there's the doorbell goes,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And he kind of
Jangles.
immediately flinches. But it's just the
George
just the
says, "Just my
delivery
cheese alarm. Calm down."
man. And so he kind of escapes and has a
bless
bit of a
him.
panic attack on the wall outside.
Wasn't a panic attack.
Well, he says later it wasn't a panic attack, but
What was it then?
I don't know.
Spleen
I don't
again.
know. But anyway, they go back for their hot chocolate later, and things are fine. And I love the last scene of Todd in the episode where everyone's kind of having a laugh about Mary and her golden round.
Oh yeah, take another shot. Mary threatens to see Theo off if he comes round.
Yeah, that's it.
And Todd's like,
anyway, the last shot is Todd kind of chuckling along with it and going, I've missed the daftness of this place. And after everything he's been through for the past year, in particularly the past, I guess, 6 months of it, this was a really lovely, heartwarming.
Yes.
And I think is
It
what
was
the
nice
story
to see him
needed.
relax
Yeah,
among friends.
I'm glad that the story, because the episode could have ended with a bit of a cliffhanger, like, oh no, they haven't got the evidence that they think they need, or anything like that.
That's true.
It didn't need that. What it needed is, after a very very tense and gripping and heart in mouth episode, we needed some kind of okay, he's going to be all right, at least over the weekend, just to see us through until Sunday's visit to Weatherfield. So what a great old week for that story.
And that's the end of the street talk.
No, it's not. That is just the first storyline. We've got plenty more to cover. I've still got a lot to say about the flat fire for Paul Roy. But Gemma, we'll see what we can manage out of this Carl story. And I know that I put a few notes in the other, but we'll be able to get by with it. What's Carl been getting up to this week?
Carl's been claiming that he used to dance in Germany, and we know that Germans don't dance.
Do we? Is that a fact?
Yes, we know that. They're too serious. They're very, it's not efficient,
Not
is it?
the efficient mode of transport from one side of the room to the other.
No, you just walk diagonally. Right, so Friday, Kevin says to Ronnie, "If you heard anything from Fiona?"
Oh yeah, Ronnie's on the case,
Right,
isn't he?
she's
It
putting
seems like
together
so long ago.
the wheels in motion to take him down, but sadly, all those wheels were MOT'd by Carl, and they're all going to fall off. Debbie is having a chat with Carl. She wants to take up dancing as a new hobby.
So, this scene,
I hated this.
This bloody
Alicia
stupid
Keys,
scene.
If I ain't got you...
We should never need to use Shazam while watching an episode of Coronation Street.
The only thing I use it for is Coronation Street. And I don't know, unless it was on Kerrang or MTV2, between a very specific period of time in my life, I don't know what the bloody song is. They started playing Bloodhound Gang, I would know.
Yeah, well, you had your VH1. No, what do you say?
Kerrang and MTV2.
Yeah. Well, I've got MTV in the box, similar time period.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I on a whim this week, listeners, decided to listen to all 3 of Aqua's albums.
Why didn't they play an Aqua song?
And it was I liked Aqua's singles in the late 90s, but I'd never thought to listen to their albums. And
why would? Okay,
what an experience that was this week. Good, not bad actually. I quite like their third one especially.
You got me a new Halloween song.
Yeah, they had a Halloween song on their second album. Anyway,
all my playlists are Halloween themed, or used to be running, and sometimes comedy songs. They're my favourite genre of music.
Not sad, sloppy Alicia Keys ballroom dancing with your son /
Look, many
brother.
people would say this is incredibly powerful, moving.
It wasn't because she's dancing with the enemy, isn't she?
That's a song.
That's a song.
Or is it a movie?
I don't know.
No, sleeping with the enemy. You can't do that with Carl. It's gross.
Yeah, that would be too. I mean, we almost had a bit of incest with Amy and Ollie. We don't need another one in this storyline. But honestly, why did they do this?
It wasn't
why
so
did
much.
they have? It's the music that gets played.
It wasn't so much that they did it at all, which of course, no. But it's the way that it became. What is it? Diegetic, and then it became the other way around. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was part of the scene, and then it took over the entire. Like there was no music, there was nothing else. It was clearly not coming from something that we were hearing it.
Yes.
It was just played over the top of everything.
I think if they'd have got up and danced,
stop using your money.
It still would have been cheesy.
Don't have them dance, and stop using the budget on bollocky music. If we want to listen to Alicia Keys, we can. We know where she is. She's down the road. She does gigs every week. I've been to 3 this week.
Ronnie's there, isn't he? Kind of watching on and just
crying, going, I hate this song.
I
don't have a problem with it. Just to be clear,
this,
I don't have a problem with Alicia Keys.
His takeaway from this
Don't beat me up.
is Debbie still loves Carl. In
we wouldn't have known,
mother-son
though.
kind of
Let's
way.
be fair. How would we have known this without the music?
I think we could have managed it somehow.
It's not like they can act, or it's not like the scriptwriters can do, write really good lines.
Dialogue, no. Let's just throw in a sad dance.
It's not like if we literally need Mary's golden hammer to get it into our brain, she could have just gone, Carl, I love you, and we would have saved so much money on Alicia Keys. She's laughing her way to the bank. Along with what's her face, Annie Lennox.
She's waltzing all the way to the bank, isn't she? To her own music. Annie
Lennox and Leonard Cohen, who was the person who did the music for the trailer. Now that forgive him that, because that's good. I like trailer music. Can't have a silent trailer.
If ITV needs to save a bit of money, then I'm going to say music rights.
Just ditch it. I'll write a song or something, a comedy song.
But come on, sorry.
We had those George Formby guys.
Oh yeah,
at the weekend.
Today. They could do it.
Is that out of copyright?
Don't know.
Let's look into it. Later on, Ronnie tells Kevin he's asked Fiona to just leave it. Doesn't feel right because of how Carl makes Debbie feel happy. And Carl comes in and he's just like, I just heard from Fiona that you've been trying to set up something to get me when it ain't worked. And he's also, Summer is also not happy to see him when she walks into the Rovers because she is onto him. And he says, look, you got a problem with me, just deal with it. Then he confronts her later in the street and says, don't know what you've been told, but it's not my fault what happened to Billy. In fact, if you're looking for someone to blame, look a lot closer to home. If I was her, I would say, you could just tell me. What do you mean?
She's a smart cookie though, isn't she?
Mean?
She's able to figure it out pretty quickly.
Billy killed himself in the van.
That Summer's robot did it. That's why it's absconded from the
Exterminate.
flat. Yeah,
All along it's
exactly.
been a Dalek. It's kind of a similar shape to a Dalek, actually.
Yeah.
If this was Doctor Who, that thing would turn into a Dalek. You know it would.
It's alright. He's got a little guard dog as well, hasn't he? In the shape of Hacker, yeah.
Right, on Monday, I always think of Summer's robot as being non-binary, to be honest with you. I do.
Genderless.
Yeah. Carl comes into the shop and and Summer says, I've worked out that you were referring to Theo.
See, look, she comes up with it herself really quickly.
This is what happens when you've got no one living in your flat with you.
Yeah.
Carl says he heard...
Has she got a big board with photographs connected by bits of string?
She's there puffing on a cigarette with bits of red wool going everywhere, going, who's close to home? She's got a map of the street. She's got it off Google Images. She's been Deliverooing.
She's got a little sextant or a ruler or something trying
She's
to...
looking at the moon.
Yeah.
Phases of the moon.
It's Theo, isn't it?
It's
talking
Theo.
about Theo.
Yeah. He says, yes, I heard him apologising to Billy's corpse the night before the funeral, and I reckon I can get him to confess. I'll give you Theo's head on a plate, but I need money. I reckon you must be loaded because of Billy's life insurance. So
I don't like to brag.
Give me 10 grand.
I wouldn't brag about it on Coronation Street if I'd suddenly come into a load of money, because there's
normal.
going to be somebody somewhere who needs it.
Oh, I need that exact amount of money. That's a coincidence. How much money do you think she's got?
I don't know.
I reckon she's got 100 grand.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's 10 grand's nothing of that.
Yeah, especially if it gets Theo
She's got
sent down.
She's got 50 grand in premium bonds. She's got 20 grand in an ISA. She's smart. She's got the rest in Bitcoin probably. She's canny, that girl. So
She's bought herself a lifetime supply of insulin.
Maybe she's signed up for a lifetime membership of the National Trust. Because I was thinking about doing that, but the longer you leave it, the less it's worth doing.
True.
And he comes in and Carl scuttles off. Then we get Debbie summoning Sally, Glenda and Christina to the pub for a meeting, and I love this. This is great. I hope this actually happens, but I'm sure it will just be tragic.
I'm sure it will either not happen or it will just be talked about but not seen.
Oh, I don't know.
They're all going to go on holiday, aren't they?
They're like, we're not doing any more songs. We're going on location on holiday.
Oh, just imagine. They went on location for the wedding. Maybe all the location is just all the location budget has just been funneled into this story, and we will see it.
Do you think
off
that
to Torremolinos or go to Tenerife and see Jenny?
Where would Debbie go? Because she seems to be making a point that she's loaded. I don't know where. I know that she's a highfalutin business lady and everything.
Well, she's not going to go around. She doesn't want like some cultural holiday, does she? She just
No,
wants
of course
a nice
she's not. Where she goes to like Bali.
Place. Yeah.
Bali. I don't know where. Where do rich people go?
Marrakesh. That's where she said that. I think that's where Sue Devaney said that she imagined Debbie got her picture from.
Right. Yeah, I don't think she'd... I don't know, Debbie. I think she'd go to Dubai.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, probably.
Even in this climate.
No one's going to be able to go anywhere. We haven't got any jet fuel. She better hurry up or just go on the ferry. So, yeah, she wants to go on holiday. And they were like, yay!
But nothing happens of that afterwards, does it? But I'm all here for it. I think that's when they want to give Sue Devaney a little bit of a rest.
Isle of Man.
Yeah.
A classic Corrie location. They all celebrate. Bernie comes in and says, right, go and sort Carl out because she said something horrible to Summer. Then Carl comes into the pub and goes, no, I didn't. Because Bernie says he's told Summer that he wants some of the money. And he said, no, I never said that. I just said, I wish I had money. I wish I had someone who's died and leaving me money. Wink, wink, mum.
Even if he said that, it still would have made him sound like a right git, wouldn't it? Like saying, you're lucky that your dad's died.
Well,
is basically what he's claiming that he was inferring.
It was a joke, he says. Debbie's not happy. And Bernie says to her, you got to wake up. He's taking you for a ride. So on Thursday, she summons him to her flat. And he's really cagey about this. And then eventually he comes out and says, okay, right, so I heard someone confessing to killing Billy. And Debbie's like, what? Billy was murdered? What are you talking about? That's me acting, do you like it? And he says, I can't tell you, I need the money off Summer. And Debbie's like, look, you left me to rot in prison and you knew all this was going on. You should be ashamed of yourself. Get out of here. And Ryan's there as well. And when she gets rid of Carl, she sits on the sofa and she has another absence seizure. And she has to go to bed. Ronnie comes around and they're all worried. And Ronnie's completely blaming Carl for stressing her out.
I feel really, really bad for Ronnie in this story because
Honestly,
he can't win.
No, you're right.
And
he
he's just
can't.
watching this car crash happen.
Yeah.
He's watching his wife be taken advantage of by a scumbag of a son.
Yep.
And she's just letting it happen.
Yeah.
He can't do anything because,
well, no.
You know,
she makes her happy, like he said.
Right.
And any kind of intervention stresses her out. And he said, I wish I got rid of him when I had the chance.
And he says, I'm going to kill that Carl.
Gosh.
Maybe next week on Thursday.
Yeah, I've put it in my diary. So Carl goes to visit Summer in the shop and she's not happy about this. And he says, Theo's walking free at the moment but my offer still stands. Do you think that 10 grand's worth putting your dad's murderer away? Sounds good to me. And then Ronnie finds Carl in the pub later and says, get lost, buddy. Otherwise I'll make you.
Well, doesn't work. Does he? No.
Because on Friday, Carl comes slithering to Debbie, apologising, saying, I'm sorry, Mum. I'm really sorry. And Ronnie's like, no, get bent. Do one. And Debbie says, no, let him speak. Tell you what, you know how we have our villains category and our awards? We've already got 5.
I know.
How are we going to deal with this?
I don't know.
And there's Mal as well.
Yeah. And surely there's going to be more to come. I don't know how we're going to do it. We can't have more than 5 there. That's a Conversation Street way.
No, we couldn't possibly change the rules. There's going to
have to be a dramatic,
Jodie might just redeem herself because stealing iPads off children is quite funny. So yeah, he says, why didn't you say anything about Theo? And Carl says, I was scared of him. Ronnie's like, no, just no. And then Carl says, Ronnie threatened to me. And Debbie's like, oh my goodness me. And she shrieks at Ronnie. She gets really upset when he's trying to tell her that he was only trying to protect her. And she strops off. And it looks like they've kind of broken up a little bit.
Well, yeah, he ends up in the Rovers in the end, doesn't he?
The baby boys. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna go and go to the pit that is number 3, the place where characters go to never come out.
At the very end,
they'll be all right.
I thought,
for weeks' time, maybe it's not going to be a problem anymore, Ronnie.
Maybe. Summer and Carl. I thought this was Carl meeting Megan.
I did as well. And I was like, what have they got to do with each other?
I think it's because they both wear white coats and they're blonde. There's too many blondes on the street at the moment, aren't there?
Yes.
No, it's fine. Summer and Carl meet in the Ginnel and she says, I'll go through with the plan, but I'm not paying you until he's locked up. And Carl says, deal. So now Theo's got 2 problems. He's got the fact that he's in trouble about Todd and he's kind of on the run and he's homeless, and he's got the fact that Carl is now breathing down his neck. Yeah,
the walls are definitely closing on.
But to me, I don't think that Carl cares. I think he's going to just try and trick Summer out the money.
That's the most important thing for him.
He doesn't care about Theo.
I mean, he does want... It makes sense for Theo to be sent down for Billy's death if it gets Debbie off the hook.
Nobody cares about that anymore.
Because although he does see his mum as a walking, talking cash machine, I don't think he wants to see her in prison, and this is an opportunity for him to redeem himself in her eyes, maybe get a bit more money out of her. But I do think there is some genuine familial affection there. He just is thinking of himself first, more than anybody else, isn't he?
I think that he should have gone to Ronnie first and told Ronnie when Debbie was still in prison that he knew that Theo is the one that killed Billy. And then he could have got money out of him that way.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
He could have gone around collecting loads of money off everyone to get... He could have gone to George and Christina and gone, 10 grand to get rid of Theo. I'm making a collection. What can we get up to here? I've got my thermometer. I want to get it up to here.
Totalizer.
Yeah, come on, guys. This is like
The Get Rid of Theo fund.
Yeah.
Like a telethon.
There's loads of people that would pay good money to get rid of him.
Right, what's next? I don't think we've got a whole lot to say about that story. It's just a big build-up, isn't it? Ooh.
I just feel sorry for Noah. I'm sure that Theo killed him.
No, he didn't.
Well, I like that.
Right, we got the Roy story now, the thermal reaction, and Friday we hear from Roy that Mel is planning to go back to Inverness. Every time I go back to Friday's episode, it feels like a lifetime away, doesn't it? So much has happened since then.
Because last week, Jodie had been review bombing him.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, on Checker Trade or whatever. And Gemma's like, well, goodbye to bad rubbish. Nina's a little bit confused by it.
So's Bernie.
And she's like, what's he up to? So she and Gemma get chatting about Gemma's reaction to Mel leaving. And she's like, do you know anything? And this is when Gemma tells her about the bad reviews that she and Jodie were doing. And
it was just Jodie.
Yeah, well, Gemma was kind of egging her on a bit, wasn't it? But anyway, Roy's got a bat convention.
Well, Bernie's worried that Mal will think that it was her that did it.
Yeah. Roy's got a bat convention that he and Nina are going off in the Woody to go and see. A nice little return to the Woody there. What's that little grin
I'm just laughing about who was it that said, I hope you catch some good
I think that was
bats.
Bernie. I think it was Bernie. He's taking a net to catch them or something.
I thought it was really great.
I thought that was a funny little
like, you don't
line,
catch them, you just watch them.
Yeah. And just as a little bit of, watch out, there's something wrong with Roy here. Hope he doesn't get caught up in a load of smoke. He does have a bit of a cough on Friday, doesn't he? It was, yeah.
Oh, if you ever get a cough out of nowhere, maybe you're going to be in a fire.
Mm-hmm. So Mel does what Mel does best while they were packing up the Woody, which was staring at the corner of the street, lurking away.
We make fun of him for doing this because he also did this through the windows of the cabin, didn't he?
Yes,
that time?
Devon cabin.
But it does occur to me that from time to time, when I'm quite invested in a scene, that might be exactly what I look like when I'm watching Coronation Street. It's this dead-eyed stare, intense stare at people that don't know that I'm watching them. How different are we?
You're right.
How different are we?
So Sunday was where it all goes to this was just... I can't believe it. I can't believe what they did here. So Jodie in the morning lets herself into the cafe. No electricity, it turns out. And she's surprised to find Roy coming down from upstairs. Apparently he went along to the bat convention, but he's got his fever, so he's come all the way back to Weatherfield again. It's all been cold off.
Can give us COVID, we can probably give them the flu.
Exactly, he didn't want to risk it.
No.
So he's like, oh yeah, looks like Mel didn't do such a great job on the electricity here as he said he did.
Maybe those reviews were well earned.
Jodie tells him to get back to bed. He's clearly sick. She puts the sign up, shop's closed. And Mel is watching on from Seb's garden. He doesn't know that Roy is in there. So it's the perfect spot to do a little bit of arson.
Arson around.
A little bit of arson around. And yeah, later on in the episode, Carla's walking down Victoria Street. And what do you know? There's a whole load of CGI smoke billowing out from the windows above the cafe, and oh my gosh, this looked dreadful. I don't think I've got any more to say about it than I did on the short, and I'm probably feeling less fuming about it as I was when I recorded that on Sunday.
You were so gross. It was silly.
It was embarrassingly terrible how bad that smoke looked. It didn't look in the slightest bit realistic. And then you have the going into Roy's bedroom, and it's there puffing from underneath the door.
I thought he was being haunted by Hayley's ghost.
It was stupid. It looked absolutely terrible. And as I said then, if you're going to do a fire, do a fire. We've seen some truly epic infernos on Coronation Street. Last year, I did have a moan at the Platt fire because of the amount of CGI enhancements there were, but at least they had a couple of flames. This fire had nothing apart from smoke. They say there's no smoke without fire. Well, there was in this episode.
What was happening?
I don't know. Was
anything actually on fire?
It was awful. It was absolutely terrible, and everybody should be ashamed of themselves at Coronation
That's really
Street
rude, Michael.
No, okay. It's not the people's fault.
Would you say
it's not their fault that ITV hasn't got enough money for a fire? But I'm gonna say, if you can't afford to do a fire, don't do a fire. I was not emotionally invested in this. I was just watching it saying, this looks ridiculous. Roy's flat is supposedly ablaze. We didn't even, they couldn't even get Roy's flat out because the set hasn't been set up. So what we did get to see was Roy in his bed. And again, props to them for remaking up Roy's bedroom for this. I don't really see the point of it because I could have got that Roy was trapped in his bedroom without actually seeing him there. But it made no sense. Because later on, Jodie comes walking around on the street, and this is after Carla's been trying to phone up Roy and not been getting anywhere with it. She walks round and's like, Roy's in there. I need to go and rescue him. So she bursts into the shop. Mel's there, splashing petrol around the. So how did he get in? I don't know whether that's been established.
No sense. How is he still throwing petrol around if there's a fire going already?
Well, I'm imagining what we're supposed to believe has happened is he's somehow got into the shop. He's gone upstairs, set fire to the flat first.
Didn't notice Roy was there.
Didn't notice that Roy was in the bedroom. He only wanted to set fire to the bits in the lounge,
albums.
yeah. And then he goes downstairs to carry it on. But he's not the smartest of villains, is he? Because it was clearly very smoky. He would have thought that somebody's going to have noticed this by now, but he was just kind of, yeah, whatever, taking my time, splashing it around. But again, I don't know a whole lot about how fire works, though I have done my annual training. But why was there a load of smoke in the cafe if the fire was upstairs?
Smoke goes everywhere.
It didn't make any sense to me. And it just looked so cheap and tacky.
Michael, would you say this is the
completely
equivalent
unnecessary
of going and doing a bunch of interviews without using an actual microphone?
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. I know. And then it also seemed to be at the end of it.
We all make mistakes.
Like, well, that's the end of Mal because he kind of runs out of the cafe, does a silly little Scooby-Doo jog right into the arms of. It was Kit, wasn't it?
Why is Kit there?
Kit just happens to be there. He doesn't even know what's been going on because he's only just got there.
Just somebody starts running and he's just a cop. He's like, right, you're nicked.
Yeah, it's like when an animal sees another little insect buzzing around. It's like I don't know what you've been doing there, but I'm going to catch you.
I don't know why I want to catch you, but you're moving.
It's instinct.
Yeah.
And as Mel is led away, he's like, you're going to regret this, like you Sideshow Bob or something. And that's the last that we see of Mal. I don't know whether we're going to see more of him. The storyline definitely doesn't feel like it's over, but I wouldn't put it past Coronation Street for that to be the end of Mal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like we've got the big climax to this story is Roy's rolls. Roy's is ablaze. We've not had they have had a fire there before. Becky was in one before. It was the most shoddy climax, like stunt in most inverted commas as I can manage. Honestly, absolutely dreadful, absolutely terrible.
I don't know.
Not dramatic. Any sense of drama was just obliterated by me going, what shoddy special effects. And again, I'm very sorry to the special effects people.
We're probably doing it with no money.
Yeah, exactly. But do you remember when Stu was setting fire to Speed Dial a couple of years ago, and it looked like they held a match in front of the camera?
Yeah.
They didn't even bother to do that in this.
Like it's more like a vibe. It's more like a vibe of fire.
A vibe of smoke.
Yeah.
Utterly dreadful that was. And if this is the future for Coronation Street stunts, I say, don't do them. Is this Corriedale's fault that this has happened? Is this the stunt budget for the year gone?
This is Alicia Keys' fault.
Oh.
If you ask her, she'll say, I'd rather you did a good fire.
And
she loves them.
Is it like, well, it's safe. Health and safety regulations and red tape these days means we can't actually have fire.
You can't have Julie Goodyear vomiting down herself.
Yes,
man. You can. That was great.
I don't want Corrie to ever do a fire again if
they're not going to set fire to somebody.
If this is what it is. You've got to set fire to something. You've got to be able to have the adverts all covered in that funny fireproof jelly.
Yeah, you want somebody covered in that jelly running down the road, flailing their arms.
Yeah, I want there to be an opportunity for a little making of behind the scenes thing to pop up on the ITV YouTube channel. No one's going to be interviewing David Nielsen here and saying, "So, tell us how you performed that fire stunt."
What was the stunt double like?
Yeah,
he was lying in bed while nothing happened.
Oh, just awful.
Because it was all CG.
Just awful, especially if it's the end of the story. But I don't know whether it is.
I did like Carla running up and like worrying about Hayley's things. I thought that was a really sweet touch.
Yeah.
And again, to remind us of his great link, their love for each other.
Well, there was the little scene in the hospital later where Roy's asleep in the bed and Carla's there holding his hand and crying.
Yeah, that was really lovely. She's got her wedding coming up and she's almost lost the person she thinks of as a father figure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she can't have Johnny walking her down the aisle, can she?
Everyone just dies.
Yeah, terrible stuff. And Bernie blames herself for everything that's gone on.
It's not your fault. You're not taking up the budget.
So she visits Roy in hospital on Monday, does Bernie, and Lisa and Carla and Nina are already there. Lisa's probably a bit moody because she's like, I've got work to do. I don't need to be involved in this. I'm not the one with a long-term relationship with Roy. 15 years.
You're going to inherit him.
She is, isn't she? Yeah. She says, look, Bernie, do I need to know anything about Mal? And Bernie is clearly being very cagey about this because of all their history together.
She's like, look, I burnt his sausages the other week, and ironically, I think that this was revenge.
So at the station, we learn that Mal has been pointing the finger at Kit for this attack the other week. And correctly so, because it was Kit. But he's just like, oh, well, he's just got it in for anyone that's connected with Bernie.
He's got a really good point here, and it was actually really clever how he thought on his feet for this, because he says, first of all, we blame Dev, want Dev, then he blamed Bernie, want Bernie, then he's blaming me. Mm-hmm. It's clear he's just making it up at this point.
Well, Lisa doesn't believe a word of it, does she? She's like Browning, who I think is the new DI, is convinced by this story. But I'm not.
And if you're not convinced,
luckily they managed to put this this suspicion between them aside for Wednesday's episode where they had to team up to save Todd. Well, interview him anyway.
This wasn't the same episode though, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. This is a couple of days later. Yeah.
What episode is this?
This is Monday.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So Roy's at number 6 later. He's fine. Like, what was the point?
Well, it's really sad that he's lost so many beloved things.
Do you think that this is from a viewer's point of view? There were reports a few weeks ago, I don't know whether you saw them, about Roy's rolls is going to be set ablaze, but
this is a bit silly.
They said it in the episode, so I don't think this is a spoiler, but yeah, we have been to the Roy's roll set since, and there's literally no damage to it whatsoever. What they've done is damaged the set that we've barely seen in the last few years. And is Roy going to get a new flat? It is sad that he's lost all this. Lost all his things. But why did we need that? Why do we need to be wallowing in the misery of Roy losing the possessions that he gathered with his beloved Hayley? Just for drama's sake? I don't know. Maybe there's going to be more reason for it, but...
The thing is, a stunt like this, you've done it now. You're going to have to wait years to be able to do this again with this set. Or to have, but... Yeah. When was
you'd think that.
They can't... This is what happens. You can't escalate everything all the time, but then do a bad job of it and it not really be worth the effort.
Yeah.
To me.
No, it really
feels
wasn't.
like you're backing yourself into a corner.
And it's just left...
For what purpose? I'm not sure.
I do love Roy's flat. I don't need this. There's enough proper misery and drama and all the other storylines. I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't really know where this is going because Roy just kind of moves in.
He moves into number 6 and wears hoodies for the rest of the week, which was quite amusing to me actually. But yeah, we get the scene.
Oh, and he's like, what happened to Hayley's letters? And it's like they're gone.
Photo album, yeah, barely anything there. And then the story kind of moves on to Jodie, who I have included in this because Lisa's looking for her warrant card, isn't she? Which Jodie has stolen, and she makes good use of it on Thursday's episode, doesn't she? When she arrests... No, she doesn't arrest, sorry. She steals this iPad from a kid in the precinct.
Excellent work.
Because Lily has declared that she wants a new iPad, so Jodie is like, yeah, have this one. I did enjoy her confidence at being able to just whip it out and take whatever she wanted. But anyway...
Well, Jodie's being lauded as the hero of the hour, isn't she?
Yes, yeah, she was the one that rescues Roy from the flat.
And Lisa's like, I definitely don't trust Kit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking for her warrant card.
I've said all this, basically.
There was a really funny bit where they're both in the front room and they go, oh God, where's Connie? And
oh, yeah.
And Connie is being held by a man wearing a bright green hoodie in the corner of the room you're standing in. And you didn't know...
Yeah, I'm not sure how they quite missed that.
Surely the warrant card's somewhere obvious. Oh, it's in my warrant card holder. Damn.
Lily's having a bit of acne drama at the beginning of Friday's episode, isn't she? And Jodie makes it better or tries to, by presenting her with this stolen iPad in the classic Corrie tradition of giving someone a clearly stolen piece of technical... sort of equipment without a box. It was even had little customised bling on it, didn't it? Yeah. But nobody seems to notice that this is not a brand new... I suppose that she didn't claim it to be brand new. She could have said that she got it from a second-hand place, couldn't she? But
do you think she knows how to restore to factory settings?
Yeah. She's a canny
I wouldn't even know how to deal with a stolen...
It's fairly...
iPad. Isn't it more complicated than
You probably got to put the password in for it, to be honest. This girl's gonna teach her a lesson, isn't it? Everything else is passworded on Coronation Street except for this. So,
well, maybe she sat down with this poor girl that she confiscated the iPad off of and like made her go through like, here you go, Face ID this, right now take yourself off.
Yeah. Well, if she was claiming to be a policeman to a fairly naive young girl, she probably could have said, I'm going to need to know your password to this.
Yeah.
Got to tell a police officer, otherwise I'll arrest you.
Have you got any pocket money? Give it to me.
Anyway, there's a little bit of a fallout that this causes between Shona and David, isn't there? Because one of them wants Lily to have the iPad and one of them doesn't, and Jodie's just revelling in the fact that there's a little bit of disharmony between the family that she has been trying to split up for the past couple of months.
Shona doesn't want her to have the iPad, thing, and David does, so David's on Jodie's side.
Oh yeah, I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it? So get ready for things to move another inch forward next week, maybe.
I didn't even get to complain about what I didn't like about the fire.
Didn't you? Sorry, did I not give you a chance?
I've just read the note.
Did I not take a breath?
No, I don't mind.
What didn't you like about the fire?
Well, I just thought it felt like an advert for the fire itself, because it was the camera. They had different camera effect, didn't they? Like the cameras were filming in a different way that looked like an advert, and nothing really happened. It all felt like it was an abridged version of the real story, like an advert would be.
Yeah.
That's all I thought. If you watch it again, watch it like it's a trailer for something else that also happens, and you'll see what I mean. Sometimes
you just see scenes, and it's not usually the dramatic acting scenes, because they're usually pretty good, but things like this come along and you know that Kate Brooks sits and watches these.
You don't know what you're going to say.
Like, she just sit there and go, yeah, that's pretty good.
You can't say that.
Why?
She says, I don't know what she says.
Well, she signs off all the episodes, doesn't she?
Don't forget.
But I suppose it's a case of, well, it's too late to change it now.
Just stop being mean. You don't need to bring specific people into it. Except I'm just going to say, Ian McLeod did say in his interview that they're invested in different cameras. And this is an example of when that doesn't work. Because you're using different cameras to film something. It just takes you out of it. It's like, here we go, this is special, is it? Okay, why are we using this camera and not the other camera? We can tell the difference.
Yeah. It doesn't make me feel the drama anymore.
No, it doesn't.
This is a bit higher
it really doesn't.
Or...
Like, oh, is this Netflix? Oh, I thought I'd turn the channel over to Netflix.
I know. I love it how he was saying we need to compete with Netflix, and that's what they pump out.
Yeah, Netflix
Honestly,
is not
Netflix
worried.
is just laughing its head off seeing this attempt at
Netflix
a
is
fire.
going, $27.99. You got to pay now. Because this
Right.
is what you get if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. The pub story, Gemma. Do you wanna take this one before we finish off our street talk?
I would love to. On Friday, Nick and David meet up in the cafe, and Nick is worried about Sam because he's slipping away. He asks David for parenting advice, and it's so funny because he asks him in the most negging way possible. He's like, is there anything different you'd have done with Max, the one that ended up in prison? Because I don't want that to happen to my kid. You're a terrible parent. What did you do? And I'll do the opposite.
To turn your son into a raging racist / arsonist.
Yeah. David says, is there anything in the past that dragged him out of it when things got bad? And he's like, oh, chess. So they go to the cafe.
They say,
to
Jess,
play.
I'll get her in on Wednesday's episode.
Yeah, she'll be in it. She's coming up. No,
chess.
chess. So he has a game of chess with Roy, and then, we know what happens to that set.
Yeah. When was this? This was Friday.
Incinerated.
Hey, maybe it was Sam that set the fire.
I-
And poor Mel is being...
Besmirched.
Yeah. He was only just about to set the fire in the cafe, but it was actually Sam who
Sam's like, I
did
can't.
the upstairs.
I can't finish this game. I'm
He
gonna have to set fire
hallucinated
to
it.
So, Sam hears Nina and Roy discussing Mal and how he was stalking someone very dear to them. And Sam says, oh, that reminds me of somebody I know at school.
And we kind of switch more to the pub side of things for this week, don't we?
Then Monday, Eva and Ben get told, or they tell Will, that the police couldn't recover the CCTV from the hotel, which is the one that would have proven whether Megan and Will had gone to the hotel together. And Will's like,
birthday.
oh, well, I'm not relieved because it would have proven that you're all wrong and I was never with Megan. So he's very good at bluffing there. So they all go to the bistro to have a meal for a change of scenery. But Ben is not pleased that Maggie turns up as well. He's in a right grumpy mood.
Yeah, Ben's he's definitely holding on to this grudge for a good while, isn't he?
Well,
Ben?
do you think they're trying to set it up that he could possibly kill Maggie? Because we never even... do we think about... I don't know. It feels like...
I think we have suggested this in the past.
It does feel like it feels manufactured. I don't think that Ben would ever kill Maggie.
No, not at all. I don't
think...
know. He still doesn't know about what happened with Alan, does he? Would that be enough to snap him? He does have a temper.
At the moment, he's just being a bit of a petty bitch about it.
Yeah.
And holding on to it and this is what Corrie does sometimes is they can only really have the character sniping, and it just comes across as petty rather than a genuine grievance. You just turn into this sarcastic cow.
Yeah.
So he's just constantly making all these comments. Steve comes in with Cassie and Ben invites them over. Eva's annoyed because she wanted them to have a nice meal. She's trying to keep everything pleasant and friendly, but Maggie and Ben are just making snarky comments all the time. Then on Thursday, Maggie's got she wants to have a tea party.
I love it. She said, I've got some friends from the Irish Centre. What's the Irish Centre? Is that just where you go to...
If you need to know, you know. If you don't, you don't need to know.
So you don't.
No. So Eva says, no, you got to cancel because Susie's got friends coming over.
I'm going to say that was a very impressive looking lemon drizzle that Maggie had constructed there.
Well, apparently she wrecked it on the drive because they made her go somewhere else.
She had to go on a bus and it was all bumpy and ruined it.
Absolute travesty, that is. Eva should definitely apologise, and she does. Because also I think Ben is rude.
Maggie at this point.
Yeah, Ben's really rude. Clear
she
off.
got Bagses.
Yeah, it's her.
If it's not on the family calendar.
No, well, Eva says
she owns this.
This is my pub.
Yeah,
my pub. You get out.
Stick the kids down in the cellar. They'd love it.
Go stand in the giant kitchen.
There are other rooms in this set.
There's an upstairs lounge as well. Did you know?
Remember that from 15 years
Bugger
ago?
off there. I've bagsied this one. So, Ben says, "Look, sorry, Maggie. Ben should not have spoken to you like that."
Eva says this.
Yeah, we're all responsible. We're all just upset about Will, and then Maggie's like, "Get ready to take a shot because I'm gonna get my own back on Megan. I might just kill her." She doesn't say that, but.
She might as well.
Yeah, she's like, I've got strength left in me to settle a score, and at this point in walks, the Weatherfield's finest.
This is when Maggie turns around and does this great
How
smile,
long
doesn't
has she
she?
been in here?
It wasn't like she's behind me, isn't she? It wasn't like that, but that was great. I loved it.
We're doing everything we can to secure a charge against Megan. Just stay away from her. And Maggie's like, I just let enough steam. I'm not going to kill her, really. Promise. Have you not seen the previews? Did you see the episode? It wasn't me, was it?
Yeah, Lisa said, I have seen that, but I have also listened to last week's bonus podcast at Conversation Street, and you're the number one choice.
Yeah.
I've seen those odds,
yeah.
So I'm going to be remembering this.
And I've seen the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So watch your back. On Friday, getting more attitude from Lauren, who is just the worst. It's starting to find it funny now. They've kind of worn me down with it. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I just want to like everything. This is just to be clear. I always want to like everything. I don't go in like wanting to hate anyone but Tim. So if I actually start finding Lauren funny, I would love that, absolutely, because I do think the concept could work. Just up till now, it hasn't really for me. But Maggie's sniping at her, moaning at do this, do that. Then Steve comes in. And he starts asking about what it was like spending time with Jim. And she doesn't want to talk about it. And so he tries to get him to leave. But Ben comes in at this point and hijacks him and starts to have a drink. And he's getting more and more agitated as the afternoon is going on with his little brother. Or he's the little brother to Steve, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, let's play darts.
Let's play arrows. That means darts, Lauren.
Lauren's like,
why
I've
does
literally
Lauren
never
not
heard
know
this.
what? Oh, come on.
And then he decides, Ben, to make a grand announcement to everyone. Just in case you all didn't know, my dad was Jim McDonald. Steve McDonald's my brother, and my mum's a great big slag.
Odd choice of characters to have in the Rover for this revelation. Like,
I loved Michael.
Michael and
Michael's
Ben.
like
Sorry, Michael and Ed.
Michael and Ed, and poor Michael's desperately looking at Ed, like double takes, like, who is that? Who's Jim McDonald? Should I know who that is?
See, that's the thing
and
with Mike.
Ed's like, just play, just let it go. They're
the
always
thing with
talking
these
about
two,
stuff
yeah.
we don't know what the hell they're
There's
talking about.
They've probably only met about half of the people that live on the street at
Like
the moment. The Baileys get used so little.
They're like, he probably lives up the road.
But they
He's
won't
probably
ever
one
let
of
us have a
those
scene
ones
with
we
them.
never have a scene with. So Maggie's like drags him to the back room, tries to force feed him coffee to sober him up, and he says, "Look, I just want to talk to you about this. Just like have a conversation with me." And she tells him, "Alan was your dad. He'll always be your dad. I should have told you sooner, yes, but it was a lifetime ago. You cannot carry on like this forever. You got to be focusing on Will and this family's future and murdering Megan."
Yes.
Probably.
Well, this time next week, it will have happened.
Or not.
I can say no more. There we go. That was this week's Coronation Street. I felt like we spent an awful lot of time there talking about the Todd storyline, and I'm getting very, very tired at the moment.
You also really enjoyed complaining about the fire, or lack thereof.
Yeah, but I...
What else could they do, though? What else is there? I mean, a fire is a classic thing.
Yes, it is, which means they've got lots of much more superior fires to compare it to.
Didn't we do a Patreon top 5 fires?
No, but we did a bonus podcast last week on Corrie's greatest fires, and I tell you what, this would not be in it. What do you mean?
We did a bonus podcast last week.
Last year.
I thought I'd been in a coma.
No, I've forgotten about it. It's the smoke damage. Oh my gosh.
Okay, we know. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought it back up.
A fire should be like this huge, life-changing, and it was just kind of nothing. Just an excuse to stick Roy in a hoodie for a cheap laugh.
Could have done that anyway.
I don't know.
Could have had bats. It could have been funny if Bernie bought him a pet bat and released it in his flat while he was sleeping. The bat bit him. They thought it got rabies. He had to go to hospital anyway, and then the bat peed on everything, and they had to throw it away.
Right.
There is a kind of bat here that does have rabies. I didn't even realise this, but there is a colony. Remember, we went... Yeah, but where was that place we went to? And they were like, these bats have rabies. Don't look at them because you might get it. I'm like, oh, sorry, I thought this country didn't have rabies. Why have we got these bats just chilling out up here? I paid a ticket to get into this place to get rabies. And then for ages afterwards, I was paranoid, wasn't I, that I had rabies? Because you can get bitten and not even know. Where was it?
I don't remember.
I'm really furious about this. How dare you have bats with rabies hanging around where I'm supposed to be?
What are we scoring this week's Coronation Street, Gemma? It feels like, to me, the fire was absolutely dreadful.
Just forget
Everything else was fine. And the
music bad.
The Todd storyline was
brilliant.
Was excellent. So I think I'm going to give
a round of applause for everyone involved.
I don't know. Do you want to give a score first?
4 rabid bats.
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever.
Because it really should have been a flock of those instead of a fire. Because you could CG bats. I've seen that in Addams Family.
I'm going to give this week's Coronation Street also a 4. Mine's going to be 4 pimples on poor Lily's face out of 5.
I remember watching an episode
Don't
of
squeeze
that.
them.
What was that? Sweet 16? That spoiled American children show where they have a massive party when they're 16 and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I swear, one of them, she had a spot on her chin, and they went to a dermatologist and they just got rid of it.
I didn't know
it's
you
like
could
money
do that.
can do anything in America.
Yeah, these days all they have to do is those little patches that the kids put on spots these days.
Do they really do that?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it in the wild,
think the
or whether it's
classic-
just a TV thing. But
Classic toothpaste.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just leave it. We'll just squeeze it anyway. Yeah, character of the week, obviously Todd. Gemma,
Oh, of course.
You're going to argue with me for that? No. Right. That is it for this week's Street Talk. Whoa. This time next week, we'll have all sorts to talk about.
Oh my
All
gosh.
sorts to talk about this time next week.
If we were clever, we would have already sort of spoken about what we're going to say, but we're not. So forget it.
Clue. Anyway, that's Street Talk.